I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning, and thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Thank you for being here. I am John Greaves III. I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life. This is your Friday morning wake-up call, and we will be riding with you all the way to the 9 o'clock hour. And if this is your first time checking out this show, welcome. And I promise you are in for a good time today. Today on the show, we're going to have a recurring guest. My guy Carlos got a PR. We are going to celebrate it. And I decided to bring him on here to celebrate it with him. That way he can kind of talk us through the entire thing. PRs are special, especially when you have been lifting for a while. So every time you get one, it's like Christmas right then and there. So I want to go ahead and celebrate that with him. We're also going to have a brand new recliner of rage. That is one of the most popular segments. So it's funny to me how every week I think I'm not going to have something for recliner of rage. You know, basically I'm like, this is going to be a good week and nothing's going to make me mad in the gym or that's home gym related. And I'll have nothing for that segment, but it never fails. Something always happens. And today was no exception. I've got a fresh, hot, new recliner of rage topic for you. At 8 a.m., we've got our second guest of the day, and that will be Johnny Layne. He's going to be coming in here to give us a preview of the USPC Americas Championship that's going to be going on tomorrow. We are live streaming that for him. It's not going to be on this channel. It will be on the USPC Powerlifting channel. So you guys want to make sure that you are subscribed to USPC 20 here on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, you need to come on over to YouTube and subscribe to USPC at USPC 20. Let me go ahead and put that right here in the banner. So now you've got that going across the screen. But anyway, so you're going to want to subscribe to at USPC 20 so that you can check out all of the powerlifting action. It's going to be a good time. All right. So now you know what's going to be going on today. Go ahead, grab a coffee, smash that like button, hit subscribe so you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and let's just dive straight into news and other things. Okay, well, I lied. Before we dive into news and other things, I got to say what's up to everybody in the chat, because one of the things that makes this show special, makes it unlike every other fitness morning show and really most other morning shows that I watch, is we have a live chat and we get to interact with all of these people who wake up, who get up way too early with Garage Gym Life. And so I'm not going to neglect you guys, because you guys are what makes this whole thing work. First off, my guy, let's see. So Carlos is definitely awake. I saw him. He's backstage right now hanging out. So we'll see him in a second. But he was in the comments and he said, wake up, wake up, wake up. That's right. I'm up and ready to go. My guy, Jared Martin, said, good morning. Good morning to you, Jared. J619 driver said, yo, he said he just went to bed 2 hours ago. So you went to bed so late, it's early. Let's see. Okay. Jared wants to know about my hoodie. Okay, shameless plug. So let's go ahead and toss this here. So basically, the hoodie here, this is actually, it's lightweight. It's not very, I wanted to make something that you could wear for as much of the year as possible. So it's a pretty lightweight hoodie, and it basically just says I own the best gym in town. It's similar to the t-shirt we have with the same design on it, and it goes with that banner that you have, Jared, that you got from us, that says welcome to the best gym in town. So we do have them available. It is in our store as we speak. All right, my man Carps Gym says mug life. That's right, mugging it. If you guys want to get a mug, we have them available in the store as well. Anybody who doesn't have one and wants one, just go ahead and let me know, and I will throw up the link in the chat for you guys. Let's see here. And let's see here. You want the link again, please? Sure, of course. I will give that to you. And there you go. My guy Matt from the UK is here. So now we can get the party started. We were just waiting for you, Matt. All right. He says, I can't even say it. He says hi. I know that's not what he wrote, but I'm not even going to try to butcher an English accent. So Matt says hi. All right, let's go ahead and get our guy Carlos in here. First, let's get this banner off right here. Let's go ahead and bring my guy Carlos on because today is a special day. It's not our anniversary, but well, look who showed up without sleeves. I told this dude we're gonna talk about his PR.
You know what? I showed up without sleep too.
Oh, really? Don't you have to go to work later on?
Look, I've been busy.
Hey, man, don't be trying to.
I got to go to work in a few, man. I've been up since.
He's trying to like make his voice.
I've been up since like 1 o'clock your time.
I've been busy. Look, man, I'm married and I only like women. And so ain't no sense in you trying to dang put that dang coffee flavor. Like, hey, I've been busy. Nah, that ain't gonna work on me. I don't work on me, man. I swear. That's what happens when what happened when people get PRs. They start showing up places without their shirt or without their shirt sleeves. That's okay, man. Hey, I ain't mad at you. Right. Well, let's go ahead. I know you said you don't have a ton of time.
You're right.
So let's go ahead and let's dive right into this. You're going to talk us through it. It's like it's play-by-play. All right, so here we go. Boom. All right, so here's the intro.
All right.
And I was like, this has zero. Yeah. I was like, where's the sound? Okay, so new squat, 415 pounds. All right. You're a veteran of the social media game, so he went ahead and showed us the plates because ain't nobody gonna believe it if you don't show them the plates. All right, so here.
What you said,
here we're gonna pause. Okay, first of all, how many times have you tried to get 415 without success?
Twice.
Really.
I mean, because
recently, or has this been something?
No. Actually, I actually did a couple of tries, maybe a week or so before that, and just wasn't feeling brave enough. Because obviously, you know.
But I mean, it's not something you were trying to do when you were a kid or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, how long has it been? Like,
no, actually, because I just like I started really lifting weights probably 2013. So this really wasn't a thing as far as squats until probably.
So this isn't like a lifetime goal or anything. Like my lifetime bench goal is 405, right? So every time I even see it on the bench, I'm like, oh, you laughing at me because I haven't got it yet. Okay, been lifting weights since 1993 and still ain't hit it.
I got my eye on 425. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
So, all right, so go ahead and talk us through this right here. You're getting under the bar.
Yeah, I'm under there, man. And you know what's going through my head right now. Obviously, the camera's sitting there waiting for me to die, because that's why I film them. Like if something goes wrong, I want somebody to see it. I want to know why it happened. But
down, way down. He goes.
I was in there. I was like praying to get that up.
Okay, so let's stop. We're gonna watch that again. But the first thing I want to say about this is, does it ever like make you mad? And everybody in the chat, I want you to chime in on this, right? Does it make you mad when you doing like a single or something like that, and it's like it's heavy and you're really grinding, and then you go watch the video and it feels like it was fast, but when you were doing it, you feel like, you know, like you're not sure how old you're gonna be by the time you're done with that set. Like it takes forever. It takes long enough for you to question your life choices. You're like, why am I doing this to myself? Right? And then you go watch the video, and it's like, especially if you watch the video, you're trying to show somebody. It
makes your life, flash before your eyes.
Yeah, but then it's so like when you show people, or you watch it by yourself, or you show people, it's so fast that when you show people, they're like, "What's the big deal?" Like, and you're like, "No, you don't understand, man. That's why I'm doing this for you."
Right.
I was gonna just play the clip, right, and tell you congratulations, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do for him what nobody has ever done for me. I want you to explain your thought process. Hang on a second. I'm gonna show you the part. This is the part that fascinates me. So right here, I'll stop it when we get to the right part. All right. So right here, you're basically talking yourself into doing it. I know that. I've been there. Okay. All right. Now you're like, okay, last chance to back out. Let's go. All right, we're going down. Right there. Okay. Right there. That is right where that's right where you like, was this a good idea? And at the moment, the answer is no. And then you live by yourself, so you like, how long would it take for anybody to notice that I'm missing?
I'm about to film my demise.
Oh, okay. So we got.
Will they find the body? Indeed.
So here we go. So Carp said the secret is it always feels terrible. Jay said the power. Okay. Carp said weight is a number, heavy is a feeling. That is a true fact. Jared has a scientific question. This is an adult question, right? He said, what's the plan if that wasn't coming up? He said, I don't see any safeties. Now, I see the safeties, but you are not, as my oldest son used to say when he was 2 years old, you are not next by those. You are not next by the safety.
Not next by those, definitely.
You are not next by them.
Yeah. Plan A and Plan B were the same thing. Get that crap up.
Plan A and Plan B was
not going to fail.
So it was if he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. Exactly. The whole thing. Plan A was succeed. Plan B was succeed. It was going to happen. So that was just it.
Not leaving myself a choice. Now, do you normally walk that far back? Do you normally walk out that far?
It depends actually, because I've got like my treadmill behind me because space is limited.
I mean, I'm just saying, this is the part where we start micromanaging you.
No, that in general, that squat, I needed that space. I felt like because when I first stepped back, it was heavy. It was freaking heavy. Okay. And so I needed room to make this stuff happen. It wasn't going to be one of those things where I clanged the hooks or anything. I wanted to make sure I had full space when I went back up. So
Oh, yeah, I see. You were scared that you're gonna hit underneath the J hooks. I got you. Yeah. I know people who. So that's usually the reason why people have a big walkout. But I'm always I'm just looking at okay, well, you walk past your safe. It seems like your safeties ain't long enough. Your not safeties. Your spotter arms.
There was no safety.
Yeah. No, not at all. No,
they're the freaking end of the rack.
I mean, hey, look. On the plus side, you don't live on the first floor, do you?
Yes, actually, I do. Yeah, because that was part of the negotiation that I had with the management.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, on the plus side, you can meet your neighbors real fast if you go through the floor. Okay, never mind. Okay.
No.
Right. Well, we're not gonna leave people in suspense. All right. So tell me. So then you're coming up. Right there is, I bet you, where you started to believe that it would actually happen.
Yeah.
Right.
At that particular point, I was going, shoot, I should have put 10 more pounds on.
Yeah, that's when you start getting bad and bold. Now, from here, let's go right here. I feel like, what's his name? John Madden. All I need like a, what you call like the point, the laser, not the pointer, but the little choik, doink. All right. So there, you go. You're in fear for your safety. Right there. Okay. Right there. It's still iffy. And then
at that point, it was like, tell your grandkids about me. Yeah.
Right there, you feel like a hero. You're like, oh no, because this is right where people are like, oh, that's what nobody ever scream. God. Nobody ever makes noise when they're down here. Right? No. Everybody starts screaming when they get to right about here.
Yeah, you need that.
Because that's
that
when you start believing.
Yeah.
Because when you're down lower, man. you don't want anybody. You want people to come rescue you if necessary. But if you're in a gym or something, I'm not about to call over anybody over here to watch me get embarrassed. No. But once you get up to the top, then you're like, oh yeah, hey, people need to recognize what I just accomplished. I got you. I understand.
That 4-year-old going, hey, look it. Yeah. So
that's it. You are yelling. Yeah. Hey, you get. Boom! Look at that.
That was it, man. That was
it. And here's the worst part about lifting by you.
Yeah.
You got nobody to celebrate with, but that's why we're here, Carlos. We're celebrating.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, guys. Man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is cool, dude. Hey, man, PR, like I said, PRs, especially, well, when you get more than 5 years into lifting, PRs are hard to come by, man. They are hard to come by. That's right, Matt. Give them a round of applause. They are hard to come by because you think about it. You already got past the newbie gains. They're gone. They've been gone to the point where you get mad at other people who are having them and they start complaining. I'm not getting any bigger. You shut up. Or they come and sell it. They come in all excited. Like, yeah, man, I put 40 pounds on my bench. We're like, that's because you were weak to begin with. You're trying to pour cold water on their dreams or whatever. You're just bitter.
No, you know what? You didn't notice like the most important part about that squat. And
what might that be, Carlos?
Sure,
see, now he's milking it. I knew this was gonna go wrong. All right, here we go.
No, what was the most important? This is the coolest part about that freaking squat. The freaking banner in the background.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I peeped that. I peeped both of those. There you go, side by side.
Could not have done that without those banners. Oh yeah,
hey,
for sure.
There you go. Yeah. Carlos is the number one hype man for. He's the number one hype man for the brand. Let's let that play. Look at that. Look at he excited. Now
go get that dirt banner.
And that's where social media is great because I remember when I started lifting at home, I've told most of you guys, I worked in a public gym, so any PRs I got, people would be there. So like the first time that I did like a 20 rep squat with 315, people were around, right? So people were around, and I was like, they were around and doubting me. So they're like, I don't know this, because at the time people weren't really doing 20 rep squats. So I'm doing it, and they just like, I heard them say, I don't know, John. I don't know now. I don't know this is a good idea. And so I got it, and they were just like, everybody's like, yeah, help me walk it in and everything. But then when I started working out at home, there's nobody around. It doesn't matter what it was. You're looking for somebody to celebrate with. Yeah. You can't high five yourself. I mean, I guess you can, but you feel weird.
Internet. Yeah.
But now you got, we have Instagram, we got, YouTube, we got all that, right? So I think this is cool, man. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Jay said high five. Ashley, the amazing, is here. She didn't get. All right, you know what, Ashley, we're gonna do this one more time, then we let Carlos get out of here. We are celebrating Carlos getting a PR. All right, so we're gonna show you one more time. All right, Carlos got a PR. This is new squat PR of 415 pounds. All right, showing you the plates. Also giving you an impromptu tour of his home gym area, as we used to say in Maryland. All right, getting up underneath there. We're gonna have to have a discussion about that squat pad, though. We're gonna have a talk.
Yeah,
that's
and gloves, of course.
Yeah, you squat 20 more pounds at least if you got rid of that. Both of those, both of them. All right, down we go, and up. There you go. Now, cue the celebration. Here goes celebration. You see him turn around. You turn around looking for somebody to high five. You realize you're the only one there. You realize you're the only one there.
That's hilarious. It's funny. I think that 415 squat was done at 4:15 in the morning. So yeah.
That right there. Now, supposedly your testosterone is higher in the morning, but I don't care about what science says in that situation. Ain't got nothing to do with being sleepy, okay? I don't care what Dwayne Johnson says. I don't care about launching your day. I don't care about none of that. No. You sleepy.
Get that crap in before your brain realizes what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Ashley says, congratulations. Got a couple. All right. So you got 2 questions to answer before we let you get out of here. Jay wants to know what bar you are using.
Oh, shoot. I think that's a cap bar.
It's just a cap barbell bar.
Academy a few years back. So. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, because I think that they're
Does it have the little? It's got a little hex bolt on the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to tighten. Okay, yeah.
Little guy.
Yeah. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I the first time I saw somebody bench 600 pounds, it was with one of those bars with the hex bolt on the end. You got to and stick your. Nobody can ever find the Allen wrench, so you always just stick your finger in it and tighten it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. I'm a veteran. I've been there before. Okay, I've done all this junk. You gotta stick your finger in there, and you just tighten it down a little bit. And because it's your finger, it's not really tight, so you got to do it between every set because the vibration loosens it back. No joke. The first time I saw somebody bench press 600 pounds, it was with one of those bars. In I think 1997. No, 1998. 1998, yeah. So I like the quality bars we have now, but I'm never gonna say that you can't accomplish great things with just a basic bar. And last question, Jared wants to know if you started. Yeah. Basically, with next to nothing. Jared wants to know, let me go ahead and get this off here. Says, if you had to rate the big 3 as far as which you like to do the most to the least, or if you had to rate the big 3 as far as which one you like to do, rate them like from the one you like to do the most to the one you like to do the least. So favorite first, least favorite last.
Bench for sure.
Bench, okay.
Bench. And actually,
so bench is number 1
right there. BDS.
So you're a bench. So you bench, deadlift, and squat. That's your favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I think that will work because that's actually the order that I do it in. I start the week off with bench, and then the next day after that is deadlifts for sure, and squats are always on Thursday for sure. Because Friday I'm gonna be crying about it. So, but yeah, that's like how you did that BDS. That sounds like a J-pop group. So,
oh boy.
Don't at me, bro.
Oh boy. My wife is into that Korean music, and I can't do it. So for me, it fluctuates. It rotates because, like, when I first started, it was bench. When I first started lifting, it was bench because I wasn't doing any squats, and I never even heard of deadlifting. So it was basically bench, right? And then eventually somebody taught me the error of my ways. And then I liked squats because I just meant, I was doing like 20 rep squats. I was noticing the effects that it was having on me. And I also liked the fact that I could do like most of the people I knew. Again, I worked at a gym, so I was the smallest dude I knew. Right. And then I was also competing in kickboxing.
Now I'm the smallest
so I had to stay
3 foot 2 1/4.
Well, I mean, I was like this way smaller too, because I was competing in kickboxing, and I competed in the I had to be under 174, right? So I was 5'9", walking around about 169, 170 most of the time, right?
Yeah,
so you got all these big dudes walking around, like they're just ginormous. I was literally the smallest dude I knew, right? And I couldn't compete with a lot of these guys because, again, I just told you I watched them bench 600 pounds. So when I started squatting 20 reps, though, none of them were able to do that because of the cardio impact it has on you and everything else. So even if they squat like 500, 600 pounds, they start trying to do like a 20 rep set with 225. They're heaving or whatever, then they usually would quit at 10. And there I am still going, so it gave me something to compete. And then deadlift became my thing because that's the lift I could do the most weight in. It still is. But right now, I'd say bench is the one that's treating me the best. So I like bench the best. And after that is squat and then deadlift. So for me, it's bench, squat, deadlift. Let's see here. Carp said his first 315 bench was on one of those hex bolt bars, also probably 97, 98. Yeah, I mean, that's all we had. I mean, you had yes, you had Texas Power Bar, but most people didn't know about Texas Power Bars. Eric says my wife is a huge K-pop fan. Maybe they can hang out and listen to the K-pop while we do home gym con stuff next year. As long as I don't have to hear it, man. My wife walks around, she has that stuff in her headphones all of the time. I'm just like, I feel like that's I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'll tell y'all a funny story about my wife. I love her to death, man. But so she likes watching like the Korean, the K-dramas. You know, so in Korean. So she's got to have the subtitles, right? So so one time I was talking, because I'm like, okay, well, you reading the screen. What does it matter? And you don't speak a lick of Korean, right? So I was talking and she turned the sound up. I'm like, what's that? How's that gonna? I said, what does that do? And make the subtitles does that enlarge the subtitles? What does that do? Y'all don't tell her I said that, Junkie. Hey, Ashley, none of y'all. Hey, don't, if y'all know my wife, don't you snitch on me. Don't you snitch. All right. Let's finish this.
Dresden, though.
Man, Dresden is locked out the house. He in the shed right now. Jay said, I'm only flat benching and deadlifting now every other day in rotation. Yeah, I remember you said that. Hey, I even with a bad knee, I still. Well, first of all, it's not possible to not squat. Let's just start there, okay? Because if you think about it, how do you get to a chair? Okay, it's just not possible.
You got to squat.
You got to squat to sit in the chair. You got to squat to sit on the toilet. Even if you do one of those things where you kind of drop down just a little bit and hover, then fall, you still kind of squatting. Okay, so the other thing is, like I said, I've got a knee injury from the Marine Corps. And even though it hurts sometimes, I found that it hurts more if I don't squat, if I don't get the movement, the blood moving in and out of there, you know, and just getting that movement. And I'm also not a fan of avoiding movements because they hurt. I think you need to, I know that's something that we used to be taught, but man, if you avoid an entire movement because it hurts, you will end up losing the ability to move your body that way. Instead, what you need to do is figure out why it's hurting and address it. You know what I'm saying? And work around it while until you can do it without pain. But that's just my little speech. Carp said, why did we all grow up benching? Cuz, man, International Chest Day is like every Monday. And when does everybody start their workout program? Monday. So the first thing you see you walk in is everybody on the bench. And all these big dudes, you're like, oh, well, that must be the most important thing to do. That's what they're all doing. So there you go. Let's all lay down and put a bar over our face. Man, if I don't let you get out of here, you know how these dudes are. You're gonna end up being late. Oh, hey.
You know, and yeah, I've got some early jump going on at work.
Look, she caught me. She says, hit me up if you like my top 10 K-dramas. Dang it. I told you.
See?
Ashley, did you snitch on me?
Dresman's in there, bro. It's Dresman, bro. I'm telling you. Totally.
Oh man, like I said, if I don't let you get out of here, I mean, obviously you're gonna jump in the comment section, but if I don't let you get out of here, how these dudes are. They're gonna just talk, and you'll be late for work, and then you'll be trying to blame me.
Always hang out with you guys,
and we can't have that. So before we go, tell everybody what you got going on your YouTube channel, and I will throw this thing up.
I am currently working on a review for the Therabody. What is it? Prime Pro new massage gun they've got going on. And I look forward to having that out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's got a heated tip, man.
I'm curious about that too. Cause not that one specifically, but just the any massage gun with a heated tip.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, how long? Like, you know what? I don't want to ruin your review, but what I want to know is, do you notice the heat? That's what I'm trying to say. You do notice.
I'm going to put that out there. Yes. Heck yeah. Okay. It's got actually like 4 levels of it. So. Oh yeah.
Oh, Really? Okay. All right. Because I was just like, I mean, because I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, okay, the tip of this thing is so small. Like, how would you even, and then you're probably moving it around. Like, how would you even notice? But okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, man. You got to go. All right, man.
All right, guys.
That is my guy, Carlos. Thanks for being here, dude. I'll see you in the comments section.
See you guys in the comments. Yes, sir.
Right. Peace out. Congrats again.
Thanks.
All right. That was our dude, Carlos. Go ahead and subscribe to @CBS True Consumer Reviews on YouTube so you can check out that review, as well as all the stuff that Carlos does with the movie reviews. He does gaming reviews, a lot of tech stuff, just a smorgasbord of things. And go ahead and subscribe to him because, you know, he's part of the family, and we like to support each other. Let's see here. All right, let me jump back into this comment section here before we move on to the next segment. Okay, here we go. Catch back up. All right, so Jared says, Carp, my focus was benching and growing arms in the early high school phase of lifting. Well, it shows, dude. It paid off because Jared is one of the few people I know who could literally walk on his arms and nobody would be surprised. All right, that's why he is permanently banned from having a tank top on anywhere around me. He's just not allowed. And Eric says, my wife watches all those talking about K-dramas while working from home, all the music videos, all the reactions and such. Yeah. My wife knows like the names of these groups. Like she'll say the names of the groups and it doesn't even register to me that like she has to explain to me what she's saying. So like when she said Blackpink, she said, oh, something Blackpink. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I literally had no frame of reference. I didn't know what it was. When she told me it was a music group, I said, oh, really? Okay. And it ain't like I'm going to recognize any of their songs. Feel free to not tell me any of their songs if you do know any of them, okay? But I'm just saying, I don't like none of it. None of it seems real. I feel like I'm in an episode of or in like Blade Runner or something like that. Like none of this makes sense to me. Jay said, Carp, growing up in the ghetto, all the older guys were benching in bell bottoms and afros while I was doing donuts on my big wheel. I didn't see anything else but curls. That's hilarious. And so Jared says, Jay, you got to get into squats and experience the awful soreness that comes with it. It's a requirement. But here's the thing. If you do it correctly, well, I don't want to say it like that because depending on what you're training for, you may experience soreness often, right? But if you pick a form of squatting, that's the other thing. Squatting doesn't necessarily mean that you got a bar on your back. You could do goblet squats with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. You could do Zercher squats where the bar is held in the crook of your arms. Some people say that that's painful, but whatever. It is a variation you can do. You can do front squats, either with your arms crossed across your collarbone, your clavicle, or the way that Olympic lifters do, with your hands in the front rack position. There's a lot of different things. You can do dumbbell squats where you're holding the dumbbells up, sort of not really in a rack position, but just kind of almost at shoulder height. There are a lot of different options. You can do a body weight squat. There's a ton of options there. And then the angle of your heels also governs how much pressure there is in your knees. So there are a lot of different options out there for squats. Hack squats are technically it's a hack lift. But yeah, there's tons of options out there for squats. And I highly encourage you to just research them and find the one that maybe find a rotation of 3 different styles of them that you will do that you enjoy. And then you can rotate among the 3 and then it won't be monotonous to you and you'll get the benefits of them at the same time. Matt says Monday's World Deadlift Day. Get your priorities right. I'm not sure that that's true, but it would be nice if it was, right? It'd be nice if it was. He says even air squats buckle the left knee. It's bone on bone after 26 years of trucking. Dude, I get it. Like I said, I'm not advocating that you go out there and try to do pistol squats. I'm just saying that there is a way to do it. And actually, you may be able to get a hip belt harness and do, well, let me start over. You can get a dip belt and do a makeshift version of a belt squat that's closer to the original movement, which was a hip belt squat. It was like it's kind of called like a hip circle squat, and you can do something like that. Iron Mind sells a hip belt harness. All you need is a barbell, which you already have. And then you buy the belt, and then you hook the belt to the bar, and now you're doing the original belt squat, which is what people had before Matt Winning developed the belt squat machine, the original belt squat machine. Anyway, so let's see. Let's see here. Carp said doing 10 rep squat sets the week of Home Gym Con. He was sore for 4 to 5 days. Didn't think he was going to be able to compete. But you know, your body can get used to just about anything, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's see here. Yeah, now this is a good recommendation. Backward sled walks. Those are really good, but it depends on what's wrong with your knee. And to go with that, Jared says he's recommending the knees over toes guy stuff. He said it might give you some ideas on rehabilitating your knee. BTS 2025. See, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds like a coffee maker. Okay, that sounds to me like a coffee maker, or something you make smoothies with. Oh yeah, we just bought a BTS 2025, and that's how we make all of our smoothies. That's what that sounds like to me. You know, that's nah. All right, let's see. Home gym physique. Am I watching the Olympia this weekend? Actually, I will not be doing that because I won't be watching the Olympia because I actually have a live stream that I'm doing tomorrow, and we're going to be having the meet director of that federation on. The president of that federation and the meet director of that particular meet. He's going to be on at the 8:00 hour, and we're going to be talking about it. But yeah, so I'll be occupied with that. We're doing that live stream. I'm doing color commentary and play-by-play for it, and then Sunday I will be driving back and doing a live stream for my church, and then I'll be watching my favorite team destroy the Baltimore Ravens. So there you go. This is the way. Okay. So Jay says leg press machines are actually comfortable. Yeah, I mean, they're designed to be comfortable, you know, but that's not the point. Anyway, that's enough of rehabilitate Jay's knee talk. All right. I love the tangents that we go on. But now I got to move into the next. You realize we're still in news and other things. We're still supposed to be talking about news. Y'all got me off track here. I got to keep an eye on y'all. All right. So the next item, as far as news is, I was talking about it already, is we have a live stream tomorrow. One of the things that Garage Gym Life does is we contract out to do color commentary and play-by-play for strength sports. So we have done it for Highland Games, for strongman competitions, and for powerlifting meets. And so tomorrow I'll be doing the play-by-play and color commentary for the USPC Americas Championship. So I want you guys to go ahead and see. Let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys see what it looks like. If you guys want to check that out, see what it sounds like, it's number one, I think it's a whole lot of fun, but it's also very inspiring. You get to see people break PRs. You know, we just saw Carlos hit a PR, but you see people break their personal records, set new records. These guys and ladies are competing to be able to go to, I believe, Mexico to compete. But, you know, they'll be able to set world records for their federation, and it's just a good time. Plus, I run my live streams kind of like I do this one so that there's interaction. I talk to the people in the chat. We keep it nice and fun. It's very family friendly, so you could throw it on, have it on in the background. It's also great if you happen to be lifting. You got it on in the background, and it's like you're lifting with them. So I highly encourage you guys to do it. If you guys want to check that out, what you want, then all you got to do is go ahead and subscribe to at USPC 2020 on YouTube and turn on the notification bell. The live stream starts in 26 hours, but basically the meet will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern time or 9 a.m. New York time for your benefit, Matt. So basically it's in the same time zone that I'm in. All right. So you guys can, I highly encourage that you check that out. All right. The next item of news is I want to know if you guys saw the latest home gym roundtable that is on the Garage Gym Radio YouTube channel. And I was on there with Carp. Carp was on there. Joey I think Joey was on there. Yeah, Joey. Well, heck, I'm looking at it right now. Let me go ahead and I'll screen share this. It was me, Carp, Joey Echeverria. Let's see. You see at the bottom right, we got Brad from Swing Sesh. I'm trying to remember who all we had on there, but Hogan Gable was on there. Actually, is his name Gable Hogan? It's funny because when I first saw his name, I saw his old Instagram handle. I think it was his last name, and then his first name was his Instagram handle. So now I don't know what his actual real name is. But anyway, so Hogan was on there. Obviously, Jake was on there. Now, we have to address something. Number one, this was the biggest roundtable I've ever been on. Look how many people there are. We are filling up the screen. All right. There's a ton of us. Normally, when I do a roundtable, there's like maybe 3 or 4 at most. And that's normally a lot of people. Typically it's like 3, right? Plus the host, Hogan Gagel. Okay, thank you, Hogan Gagel. But you guys can see how many people we had on there, right? And that was a lot of people. I wasn't sure that all of us would be able to even talk, because the thing about having that many guests is it's easy for people to start kind of like disengaging, and you start looking at your phone or you're thinking about something else. And then I was driving, so it'd be very easy for me to have become kind of disconnected from the conversation, but it actually was a good time. I think it was an interesting conversation. So you guys make sure that you check that out on the Garage Gym Radio channel. But we gotta talk about something. So you guys see this screenshot here, right? This screenshot, I don't know if this is the screenshot he used for the thumbnail, right? But I want to go right now and clear things up, okay? I did not forget to turn my lights on, despite this vicious rumor started by Joe Gray. All right. I was driving from Nashville to Atlanta during the first part of the roundtable. Okay. In fact, I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm mad at Jake or not, because he could have used a screenshot from later in the show when I was actually at home. Okay, so let's go right here. If you guys will see, so all here, this is the beginning of it, and you see I'm in the car. Well, if you go to the end, boom, look at that. I'm sitting right here in this exact office, all right? He could have used a screenshot from that, okay? But no, he used this, so it looks like I don't have, indoor lighting, like I got candles in my house or something like that. That is a clear case of sabotage. Okay, no. So I'm here to set the record straight and let y'all know that I actually do have lights in my house. And I was just driving. I was on 70. Yeah, I was on 75 South when the video started, when we started recording, and then I got home, and then by the end of it, I switched over to I switched from my phone over to basically what I'm using now, my computer setup. And so I was in my office. So I want y'all to spread the word out there. I don't want this out there, people thinking that because Joe said That's what he shared it, so thank you. But then he said the garage gym life, forget his turn his lights on. Okay, we're fighting back against that. All right, we're fighting back against that. All right, spread the word. Let people know I do have interior lighting in my house. All right, let's see here. But as far as topics go, like I said, I thought it was pretty cool. We talked about the companies that have the brightest futures. We talked about our worst homes and purchases. And we talked about whether or not Kabuki can survive. And we reacted to changes in the Rep Fitness discount program. So if you guys have not checked that out, go ahead and check it out. And in fact, I will go ahead and I will get the link right there. And I'll just put the link right there in the live chat. And then I'm going to put it in the description for this video as well. So if you're watching on replay, you can check it out. And if you are listening to the audio version on Podbean, I will put that link, the link to that in the audio version on Podbean as well. So that way, anybody who wants to check it out can check it out. And while you guys are there, make sure you subscribe to Garage Gym Radio, because I think he's got a great channel. He's got a great network, giving some good opportunities to other home gym creators. And so I would love to see his channel grow. So you guys make sure you get over there and subscribe to that. Jake's a good dude. So let's go ahead and support him. All right, next item. Here you go. All right. Carlos said, buy a couple of banners so John can keep the lights on. See, look, yes, buy some banners, okay? Buy some banners, but we do have lights, okay? We got lights. This is not I don't just have a really big window here, okay? We got lights. Anyway, let's go into equipment news, and then we'll move on into y'all's favorite segment. So I actually have a couple questions. So it feels like stuff is coming out. Sometimes stuff comes out and I'm not sure. I feel like I'm not the correct market for it, but I don't know if I'm just old or if it really just is like a niche thing. So for example, I'm a big fan of Bells of Steel, right? I just bought some Bells of Steel stuff the other day, but I saw that utility seat, right? And I'm like, what does this really do? Like, why is this? You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't say, what is this? I'm like, well, why? Why is this? Like I mean, I watched the video. I get it. Well, I don't get it, I guess. But you guys out there, what do you guys think of the Bells of Steel? Or if other companies have one, tell me, like, does anybody out there have a utility seat like this? And what do you actually use it for? Because I can't think of anything that, and again, that doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means I can't think of anything, but I can't think of anything that I would need this for that I couldn't do with just a normal bench, a normal utility bench. I mean, like a normal bench with like a bench. Yes, become a channel member, but it's got nothing to do with my interior lighting. See, I see what y'all are doing. You're making it so I can't negate the things you're saying because you're saying to support me, but at the same time, you're throwing shade. See what I did there? Shade, lights. Okay. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about utility seats. So, and I'm going to take this as your way of saying you agree with me and you don't really know what the utility seat is for either. I feel better, but I'm also still I'm still confused because I'm like, well, what are these for? What are these for? Let me go ahead and let's see here. So let's get rid of that. The next thing, okay, this is another sign that the apocalypse is upon us, and that is this. Again, this is another item. I'm like, I guess I'm just not the target. I'm probably not the target audience for this. All right. I'm a big fan of this company, but JD Gym Equipped is now knurling espresso sets. Okay. So they look nice. They look nice, especially right there. Are y'all Are y'all into the Neuro espresso sets? You know, raise your hand if you want one of these, even if you don't drink espresso. If you don't, raise your hand if you want one, even if you don't drink coffee of any kind. All right. You just want to have it in the house as a, I guess as a conversation piece. But for me, it's like, I don't. Okay. So, all right. So let's go back. So I think this is the utility seat. He said, Rogan rep make him. He said, I've seen folks use him as a lever arm leg press, but it seems like a lot of step up and not worth it. Yeah, I just don't get it, man. Let's hold on. Let's get rid of that espresso thing. We'll come back to that. Ashley says, I have the rep utility seat. I bought it in 2023. I've used it once. I don't see the, and I know this seems like kind of like a frivolous segment, but my point is I'm always trying to get back around to, like, before you buy the cool thing, ask yourself, what am I really planning on using this for? And is it worth what I'm about to spend on it, right? Like, is it worth the cost, and how often am I going to actually use it? Okay. I don't get it. Jonathan, you checking in. Good. You're the perfect person. Do you have one of those utility seats, like either the Rep version, the Rogue, or the Bells of Steel? Like, and if you do, what do you actually use the thing for, and how often have you used it? Yeah, and see, the thing is, so Jonathan said, forget the money. He says that utility seat takes up some serious space. Yeah, I'm like, and what can you do with it that you can't use a normal bench for? And then as far as seal rows, I think something like the Bells of Steel seal row pad, the what you call the Infinity Arm from Exponent Edge. I think all of products like that, to me, do a much better job with seal rows, and to me are a lot, number one, they take up less space, and to me they're a lot more functional in terms of all the things you can do with them than that to me is basically like a kettlebell shelf or a storage shelf. It's something to put stuff on, but am I willing to spend all that money for something to just put stuff on? Yeah, it's a seat. It's a chair. It's a chair for up in the air. And I will also point out that, again, you can use your seal row pad, if you have one, as a seat. So again, it does the same thing. I just don't get it. We're gonna have Kayvon on, and I'm gonna ask him, like, well, what is it that you like? What was your intention behind this product? I'm not like trying to flame him, because I'm thinking like he may tell us something and be like, oh, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. And then next thing you're like, okay, it makes sense. But right now, I'm just kind of like, I ain't feeling it, man. I ain't feeling it, all right. So Carp said that's how Rory does his seal rows. I'm assuming with the Infinity Arm, or are you talking about he uses a utility seat, Carp? Ashley said, yeah, the Infinity Arm is much better. He said the seat really, it basically holds up her garage wall. Yeah. And then that's the other thing. It's like, how are you going to, let's say you buy it, you decide you don't want to use it. Good luck trying to sell it to somebody. So you're never getting your money back. All right. I did see the video. I think they had it. Well, it was one of the options when I shared my screen just now. But that, I'm not talking about like all the things you could do it creatively. I'm saying like, how much would I actually use it in my normal training? What would I have to do to set the thing up, then to get it back down, get it back out of the way when I'm done using it? Yeah, I'm nah. I just nah. All right. So let's go ahead and let's jump into, we got just enough time to do the last segment. And let me hit up my guy, Johnny. Okay, here we go. All right. So here. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and let's hit up this next segment, which is the crowd favorite, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up. All right. So that's right. It is now time. Recliner of Rage.
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay, so today's recliner of rage is dedicated to something that happened a few hours ago, actually. So let me set the stage, right? So I was working on my review of the PR2 Power Rack from Iron Bowl Strength, and I thought I was done. I thought I was done with the review. So I got all the way upstairs with everything. So that was me, the cameras, microphones, the memory cards, all that stuff. And I was knee deep in the editing process. And then I saw the note that I had written to myself to remind myself that Joey Echeverria had asked about the texture of the pull-up bar. And so I had been like, since he asked that, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out like a way to, because I thought I was going to be filming it by myself, right? So I was racking my brain. I said, well, how do I set up the camera so that I can show my entire body? Because that's just going to, that's going to be a better angle for showing like pull-ups. But also at the same time, the idea is to show the texture of the handle. And, you can zoom, I guess you can zoom in. I could have zoomed into my hands, but that just didn't seem very interesting as far as B-roll goes. So I was like, so what am I going to do? And then it wasn't until I was at the car dealership getting an oil change yesterday afternoon that I came up with what I was going to do. Well, the problem is I had planned on doing it during my workout yesterday, which didn't happen because I had so much stuff to do, right? So at the time that I saw the note, it was after midnight and I still hadn't shot the B-roll. I was like, oh man, I forgot I'm supposed to have this in the review. So I'm a man of my word. So back downstairs, me, the camera, memory card, microphone went, plus we grabbed Mrs. Greaves along the way so she could hold the camera. And she really was she loved that. And then I chalked up my hands and I did one-arm hang to demonstrate, basically how the grippiness of the pull-up bar, right? Okay. Then came back upstairs with everything to go back to what I was doing, right? And I still have, you guys might be able to see, I still have a little bit of chalk on my hands because literally, so it's almost 7 o'clock right now. So that was about 7 hours, no, maybe 5 hours ago when that happened. So anyway, here's where I'm at. I'm mad because I don't have anybody to be mad at. Yes, that's correct. I'm mad about forgetting all about it. And I'm mad that I don't have anybody to be mad at because so who am I going to blame? Seriously. All right. It's not Joey's fault. So I can't blame him. It's not my wife's fault. She didn't even know about the idea ahead of time. And I'm certainly not blaming myself. That ain't happening. Okay. I'm about to get on the road. You think I want to be mad at me and I'm going to be stuck in a car with just myself for 8 hours? Nah. So what I need, you notice I'm not even ranting and raving yet because I don't know who am I going to be mad at yet. I need to direct my rage. So here's what I need from y'all. I need a volunteer for me to blame for everything I just described, for how all of that went, because remember, all that happened and I still had to get up to do this show, to be on time to do this show, right? So I literally went to bed, I think it was like 2 a.m. And then I woke up, and then I normally get up to finish up the show prep at 4 a.m. So I basically got a 2-hour nap, right? All right. So I need somebody to blame for that. And I can't blame myself. So I'm looking for a volunteer from the audience. All right. So raise your hand if you would like for me to blame you for everything that just happened. Okay. And now I don't expect you to do this for free. If you raise your hand to be blamed for something you didn't do today, then in exchange, we'll let you slide at some future date when you actually do something that we should be mad at you for. How's that? That is a deal right there. All right, here we go. I'm waiting. I know. Go ahead. There we go. My guy, Carlos. All right. So freaking Carlos, all right? We're blaming Carlos. All Carlos had to do was remind me that I needed to get that done. All he had to do was send me a text message, let me know that I needed to get this done and that I was running out of time, so I wouldn't have ended up doing this at 1 o'clock in the morning, knowing I had to get up and do a show at 6 a.m. And I need to have energy for it. Plus, I got to drive 8 hours and I need my energy. I'm going to be in the car by myself, okay? But no, did Carlos remind me? Did Carlos remind me? No, he didn't. Freaking Carlos, I swear, Carlos. I swear. That right there, Carlos. That right there. That's why we don't get along. That right there. Okay, I appreciate that. Got that off my chest. I knew I could count on y'all. All right. Carlos said I'm uncoachable. Yeah, that is a true fact. Carlos is uncoachable. He is a loose cannon. Okay. The Recliner of Rage, however, is sponsored by Jared, by Ashton. It's not sponsored by Jared, no. And I'm not even talking about Jared. I'm thinking about the jewelry store. I don't know why. I'm not about to go buy any jewelry. But the Recliner of Rage is sponsored by Freedom Fitness Equipment. My guy Ashton over there is going to take care of you to make sure that you are not in the Recliner of Rage when you are setting up your home gym. And so if you guys are watching last week, he came on and he showed exactly how he could help you set up your home gym. Took us through the exact process that he uses with people when they come to him and say they want to set up a home gym. He's going to save you money. He's going to get you hooked up, give you the stuff that'll have you with equipment, with a gym full of equipment that you will enjoy using for years to come. So hit him up. This is literally his phone number, 980-216-4860. And he will get you all hooked up. And he'll also get you one of our high quality gym banners as you build the best gym in town right there in your home. All right. It is now 7:02. Time to say good morning to the Central Time Zone. We've already got some Central Time Zone people here checking out the show. Appreciate all of you guys getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, please hit that like and hit subscribe for me. And there's also one more thing that you can do for me if you would be so good. Hey, I don't want you to just watch this video. I need you to like, subscribe, and if you're already a subscriber, I want you to join our channel for 99 cents a month so you can help us improve YouTube for the home gym community. Okay, back to the video. Boom, there you go. Back to the video. So if you become a member, that 99 cents a month will be put into basically buying equipment for the show. It's going to come back into the show. That's pretty much it, all right, to improve the quality of the content that I give you guys. All right, now let's go ahead and let's jump back into the news items that we have because I got a couple more of them, all right, including one that I honestly really, yeah. All right, so let's clean up the utility seat stuff. So Carp said that Rory uses his utility seat for seal rows. He'll put it over his spotter arms. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But like I said, I use a seal row pad to do seal rows. That doesn't mean it's right. It's just, to me, the seal row pad takes up less space and the utility seat is bulky. You know what I'm saying? I can literally store my seal row pad on my power rack if I had to, in the back on my storage post, and it's completely out of the way. That utility seat just looks like it is just completely, like it's just gonna be in the, it's one of, you know, you ever had something that's in the way no matter where you put it? No matter where you put it, it's in the way. That's what it just seems like that utility seat is. All right, so let's see here. Now, this is the biggest thing that I wanted to ask you guys about. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the I will put the invite link for you guys to come on if anybody is able to do this. All right. Okay. So Jay said box squats. Yes, you could use it for box squats, but I'll say again, a seal row pad does the job. You could use that for box squats as well. And again, it takes up less space. So I can't think of a single thing. I'm sorry, I can't think of a single thing. All right. So here is the thing. And this is kind of random. It probably stirs up a little bit of controversy, but does anybody understand what all the fuss is about between the Massonomics Drink Spotter fans and the Mag Mug people? So if you don't know what Mag Mug is, let me just show you. Let's go ahead. Let me share my screen. This is Mag Mug. All right. So don't get me wrong. I understand that it is somewhat of a competitor product. It looks like they don't even, but it looks like they're not even going after the same target market. To me, this looks like something that they are marketing towards, like more of the commercial gym crowd. Because, you know, I mean, if I'm in my home gym, I don't need any kind of cup holder to do all of the things that this Mag Mug is doing. So like, for example, right here, you see it's holding like your meal replacement bar or whatever. Well, if I'm at home, I mean, I got a kitchen to hold my food. Okay. It's got a refrigerator in it, and it's going to do a much better job of holding my food than any cup holder on earth. All right. But for some reason, and I was looking at the, I looked at every now and then it pops up in my feed. And what I do is I don't even really pay attention to the actual ad, but I'll go look at the comments, and invariably I'll see like some people from the, like, who are fans of the Drink Spotter, and they're going at it. So I'm just curious. Like, I don't see the big deal. Okay. And part of the reason why this is important to me is I had a situation with, I don't know if I want to say this. I had a situation with another product that is popular in the home gym community, and I didn't and then somebody reached out to me that manufactures a competitor to their product, right? And I was aware that this thing did the same thing as the popular home gym product, the product made by the popular home gym brand. Yeah. What I didn't know is that they perceived it as knocking off their design. Because in my head, both of them were sort of derivative of stuff that had been out there before, right? And I honestly didn't really put a ton of effort. I should have, full disclosure, I should have, but I didn't put a ton of effort into investigating, you know, like if there was any kind of copycatting or anything like that. Because for one thing, I know it seems like what I'm about to say contradicts what I'm doing right now, but I really don't get into drama a whole lot. The reason why this Mag Mug thing caught my attention is because, like I said, you never know who's going to reach out to you. And Mag Mug has not reached out to me, but you never know who's going to reach out to you. So I don't want to be in a situation where I inadvertently cause any sort of stir again, like I did in the past with the other product, just because I don't have any idea. So if anybody knows, is there some legitimate reason why everybody is seeing, well, not everybody, why it seems like the Massonomics Drink Spotter fans are going for the Mag Mug people? If it's just like all in good fun, that's fine, you know, that's cool. But if it's something that's like has some whatever, then yeah, just let me know. But I honestly, I don't see it. To me, just looking at it, the designs are different, the materials are different, they're not even the same price. So I don't get the problem. I just don't. And I also feel like a lot of people, I'm going to cause trouble. I feel like sometimes you see like a lot of outrage generated because it's people just basically like supporting their friends, right? It's like, so I know this person and they made this thing, and so I'm supporting them. So I'm going to accuse this other company of knocking off their product. And I'm just saying, like, is this, I'm not a big fan of that. So, all right. All right. So I will assume that nobody knows either. So it's just something that's out there. All right, cool. Now let's go back to espresso sets in early. So there we go. We're gonna screen share this thing right here. Because I think I saw a comment in there. And I believe it was from Carlos. Let's scroll back up. I know I saw it. There we go. Yep. See, I didn't forget. All right. So Carlos said, so what I was asking is like, what's up with this, the Knurled espresso set? Carlos said, nah, man, I reviewed an espresso machine a couple of years ago and I've been scared ever since. So I'll pass. Carlos, how did an espresso machine scare you? That's the real reason why I came back to this comment. I want to know how an espresso machine could scare a grown man. Tell me what happened. How did an espresso machine scare you, Carlos? I don't know. I'm assuming it didn't bite you. So did it fall on you? Did the caffeine mess with your heart rate? And what's going on here? What's going on? Hold a second here. Beans went everywhere. How did you manage to do that? How did you manage to have beans? This sounds like a story I should have had you come on to tell more of. How did you spill beans all over the place, Carlos? Like, I mean, I've seen espresso made, and I can't imagine how that. I literally am trying to think it in my head. Like, how did that happen? How did you? What did you do? It was okay. I get that it was a traumatic situation and all that, but how? I don't want to. Like, did you like drop the can of beans or something? It wasn't you. It wasn't you, Carlos. I just don't feel like that's. Beans don't just spontaneously go everywhere, Carlos. I just don't feel like that's true. I don't feel like that's true. No. Carp says, all I know is Juji Mufu has like 12 Massonomics drink spotters. Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with the Massonomics drink spotter as a product. I think it's a good product. Actually, I've recommended it to people. It's kind of like okay, so to me, putting Carlos and his exploding beans aside for a second, to me, it's like kind of like if you see a BMW and you see a Honda. Now, for all I know, the BMW people and the Honda people might be at each other's throats, but it just seems like it's a completely different, like it's two different audiences. So they never even, like, you don't see like them going at each other, at least in my mind, they don't, because they're two different audiences. Yeah, they technically do the same thing. They both are vehicles that drive to and from, but I don't. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't see the big deal. Now back to Carlos and his beans. Let me see if he's got himself together. He says my Agent Orange is flaring up thinking about it. Carlos, I realize that you had a traumatic experience. All I want to know is what do the beans going everywhere have to do with your newfound fear of espresso machines? Is this something I'm gonna need to have you come on another show and just tell the story? Like, if it's too long a story to tell, that's fine. But you kind of got me baffled here because I don't really understand. I don't understand how your beans thing could be happening. All right. So JD Jim Equipped has they got the Knurled espresso set. And despite the fact that Carlos is afraid of them, it does kind of look good. What I want to know is, as I said, they knurl a lot of things, and I'm seeing a lot of things get knurled. So is this something that you guys would be interested in? Or is it just like the knurling thing is just, I mean, I know knurling is popular, okay? I could probably, in fact, I'm willing to bet that if I told somebody, I'm not sure how you would actually do this, but if I had somebody figure out a way to knurl the little plastic end caps that go on your hoodie strings, the strings that, you know, close your hoodie up, if I figured out a way to get somebody to put knurling on that, I'll bet you somebody will buy it just because it's got knurling on the caps. I'm willing to bet somebody will buy it. So I'm just curious, is like where do y'all think the knurling trend is going to kind of top out? Because 3 years ago, I would never have imagined that somebody was going to put knurling on an espresso set. That just isn't something that would like even hit my radar. I would not even have dreamt it. And some of the other stuff that they've put knurling on, let's go ahead and let's check out some of the other stuff. Okay, this makes sense to me. All right. This also makes sense to me. In fact, that's a very nice tricep handle. All right. But this, that right there, yes, that looks suspiciously like a bike, like the handlebar to a bike. Okay. I feel like we may have, I'm not a man to say that anybody else has taken their hobby too far, but this is knurling on the handlebar of a bicycle. Okay. It's knurling on the handlebar of a bicycle. I thought we had topped out when they put knurling on the hand. I need to get them back on the show. I just need to get them back on the show. I thought they had topped out when they put knurling on the handle of the pizza cutter. Okay. All right. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to knock it. Okay. Knurled stainless pizza cutter, 6-inch. In case one of y'all is interested in buying it, it's got a 6-inch length handle. It's 1 1/4 solid stainless knurled handle. Okay. The blade is replaceable as well. Okay. But I just something about, I know they got there's, okay. We already discussed the knurled heavy mug, you know, okay. There we go. That's what I was looking for. The knurled spatula. The knurled spatula and burger press. That, yeah. All right. So at what point, okay, here we go. Jay says a knurled ice cream scooper would be legit. Why? Like, but what is it that you like? What is it? I mean, you just first of all, you understand an ice cream scooper is most of the time is in a drawer. Nobody even sees it. I feel like an old person because I'm here like telling people not to like. And like the kids are all out. It feels like one of those movies, one of those bad B movies from the 80s or 90s, where like all the kids want to do is hang out. And here comes this old man and keeps on trying to drive them away. And he's threatening to shut down the skating rink or something like that. That's what I feel like right now. Like I'm the old guy trying to say, you kids get out of here. But I just don't see it. The knurled stainless spatula. That's amazing. So Jay, you know, I'm gonna get you the link for all of this because I'm not about to. I'm a believer in capitalism. I'm not trying to knock the American entrepreneur and American idealism. So if you would like to equip your kitchen with all of this stuff, and also they say all you got to do is contact them for custom equipment. So if you really, well, first of all, let's just check, see if they've already got a knurled ice cream scoop. All right. I do not see one. See, I'm doing the research for you, Jay. Okay. Actually, hold on a second. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The knurled, see, that makes sense to me. All right. But the knurled tricep hand, the knurled handles for the tricep rope. But All you gotta do is reach out to them, Jay, and they will probably make you your knurled ice cream scoop. They've been known to bend. Ice cream. I was like, who's it? So what you made me think of was the Matrix. When he had when Neo was trying to bend the spoon with his mind. Okay, but I caught up with the group now. Bending spoons, the ice cream scoop. The ice cream is hard and it bends. Okay, I got you. All right, so looks like you got somebody who's on board with you. Said ice cream would be pretty tough. The scoop would be cool. All right, Carp, you said you DM me. If you just DM me a knurled anything, all right. If you DM me a knurled anything, then I'm afraid. All right, let me just go look. Okay. I'm scared. It's a photo. Okay, so I do not understand the DM you sent me. So Eric says, I have the neural tricep rope and I love that thing. That looks cool. Okay, that does look cool. If I can see the functional use for it. So part of the reason why I'm like anti-knurling on some things is because, especially like something like let's say like the shoulder rock, I don't like knurling on that because it's something that's designed to rotate in your hand. It's designed so it's gonna the handle's gonna move in your hand. So anything where it's gonna move in your hand is gonna actually tear your calluses. Now, I don't anticipate tearing calluses from using an ice cream scoop with knurling on it. I guess unless maybe if I'm using it all day and maybe I've got it an ice cream truck or something. But since that's unlikely to happen, that's not a real danger. But that's part of the reason why I'm kind of like anti-knurling unless you absolutely need it. I'm a much bigger fan of texture on stuff. The best example I can give of that is for those of you who were at home Gym Con, remember the texture that Black Widow had on their pull-up handles? How it's not neural, but the texture just felt really, really grippy. The way that he did his powder coat. I'm a much bigger fan of that kind of thing than I am of just knurling. Now, I get that knurling looks good, but it's not like I don't think like knurling is not just it's not just for the purposes of improving your grip. It also improves performance because you're gonna get better neural activation because of the neural. But on some things, I don't think it's necessary or important. Carlos said there is no spoon. Yeah, I figured that you saw that movie. You're a fellow nerd like I am. Actually, I guess everybody saw The Matrix. All right, Onan says, what's your thoughts on a knurled wrist roller? I kind of feel it defeats the point of a grip exercise implement. Well, so the difference with that is it depends. Is this a rack-mounted wrist roller where you're trying to lift where you're moving as much weight as possible? Because you know how you can mount your rack. You can take certain wrist rollers, mount them on a rack, and then attach the rope to a sled, right? So like I've got a rack mounted a rack mountable, yeah, that's how I'm gonna say it, a rack mountable wrist roller that I got from Iron Mind downstairs. And the rope is long enough that I attach it to my tire sled, and then I can throw like a 45 plate in it. And then I'm rolling the 45 sled. So now I'm dealing with the friction from the tire and the weight of the 45 plate or whatever weight I put in there, right? The advantage of that is that's actually part of the training that you can use if you want to build up the strength to bend a frying pan. That's part of the training program you would use. Now, you wouldn't just be rolling it up like you normally do a wrist roller. Instead, you would have one hand would kind of be like the brake, and the other hand would be the one that's providing the momentum, not momentum, but it's causing the wrist roller to move, right? So one hand is moving the roller, the other hand's kind of like a brake. So you roll, then you use it then you brake and reset your hand and roll. And that's how you basically develop the grip strength to bend a frying pan. Well, for that, I can see knurling. And to me, it makes sense because you're not really going for a pump, and it's still going to tax your grip, but you're more developing your ability to bend something, right? If you're just trying to build up your forearms, then fatigue is kind of like part of the mechanism of growing your forearms. I guess I can kind of see not wanting knurling on it because it's going to tax your hand, which is going to get you a pump, I guess, a little bit faster. So I guess my answer to that is it depends on what you're using the wrist roller for, if that makes sense. Eric says, I have a rack mounted wrist roller from Titan. It has a knurling pattern, but it's passive. Yeah, so like the Iron Mind wrist roller that I have, I wouldn't say that the knurling is super aggressive. It's just enough so that it helps you out with your grip a little bit. So that's the other thing. How aggressive is the knurling going to be? And I'll be honest with you, I think that even some of the I don't like super aggressive knurling on barbells. I think that the reason why people like super aggressive knurling tends to be that they've developed very thick calluses on their hands. And so they need more and more aggressive knurling so that they can still feel it through their calluses. But if you take care of your hands like you should, then your calluses don't build up. Yes, you'll still have calluses, but your calluses don't build up like that. And so I think that you can get the same job done with knurling that is not as aggressive. But, again, I'm not going to knock what somebody else wants to put in their house. So if you like barbells that have that super aggressive knurling, more power to you. But it's just that for the purposes of your question on it, I don't think, number one, I don't think that you need super aggressive knurling on a wrist roller. And number two, I feel like depending on what you're using it for, it makes sense. Jay said aggressive knurling feels great with an empty bar. I guess, again, it's not my thing. But I get your point. Oh, and here's another thing too. Most of the time if I'm deadlifting like competition style, I deadlift with a hook grip, right? So anybody who hasn't done a hook grip, basically your thumb goes around the bar and then your fingers go around your thumb. So you're crushing your thumb to the bar, right? And that is a much stronger grip than just grabbing the bar, either double overhand or mixed grip. Well, that's already painful enough. I'm not trying to have aggressive knurling to dig into my thumb and chew up the web of my thumb even more. So that may be another reason why I'm just not into it. Oh, here comes a flex. Eric said, unlike all you white collar workers, I actually need the aggressive knurling from a lifetime of manual labor. Okay, I get it. But once again, I'm going to come back and say that, well, I don't know because I haven't spent a great deal of time, and I don't intend to, studying the palms of your hands. That just sounds weird for me to even say that. But Do you have very thick calluses because of your job? If you do, then that kind of goes back to my point, which is it's people like the aggressive knurling because they've built up calluses. It's not because aggressive knurling is just inherently better. And to be honest with you, if your hands have been desensitized because of your daily activities, then aggressive knurling isn't really aggressive to you. It's the bare minimum you need to actually even feel, to actually even get the neural activation that most of us can get with medium knurling, or I guess some people can probably even get it with light knurling if they're just starting out. So do you have thick calluses, Eric? Because I think that's the reason why you need aggressive knurling. Heck, you're probably you're probably at work right now, and you're because you normally get up at like the crack of dawn, or actually you get up before the dawn. So I don't know how long you work, but okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure you're in there doing something to desensitize your hand right now. So they're not really that thick, but they're definitely desensitized. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. So let me differentiate. What I'm getting at is when people actually like go seek out the pain just so they can say that they have super aggressive knurling. And I'm a big fan of, in most things, using the minimum effective dose. And the reason why I'm that way is because if you redline from the beginning, let's say you go with the most aggressive version of whatever you're talking about, right? Then you've got nowhere to build up to. Like you can't level up to the next step, right? Does that, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're already redlining, then you can't really increase intensity at all, which means that you're ultimately going to inhibit your progress, and you're going to start to experience diminishing returns because it's going to take more and more of that redlining to get the same effect, and your body just can't handle it. At some point, you're going to break down. So in your case, you didn't start out with hands that were desensitized. You built up to that point. So I would say that if you were lifting when you first started working, doing the job you do, you wouldn't have needed super aggressive knurling. Yeah, if that makes sense. He said at work he runs sharp parts all day and he bare hands most of the stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. He says, I'm used to the sharp feeling. I like it. I want a triple black diamond instead of my double. Hey, you knocked yourself out. Whoa. See, this is what I'm talking about. Jay has gone completely out of control. So let's dial you back in. He said knurled atlas stones for 2025. Let's reel you back in. Okay. Let's get you back to the knurled ice cream scoop. That's that. There you go. Go back to the knurled ice cream scoop. Can you imagine how miserable that would be? That would be, I can't even imagine doing that to myself. Because I wouldn't, but yeah, I can't even imagine doing that to myself. I can't imagine anybody doing that to themselves. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would do it. I know there's somebody out there that would do it, but I just don't. Not the kid. I'm just telling you, Eric, that is exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking about holding it. I was thinking about what happens when you lap it and it's on your lap. Nah, man. Not the kid. Not the kid. Let's go ahead. Not the kid. I'm just that would suck. That would be horrible. Horrible. Oh boy. See, I'm mixing up. Got my Visp going. Visp. I'm taking money. You see, I'm representing every week. I'm representing Visp. Somebody reach out to them and tell them to send me some money because I'm always giving them free advertising. All right. Right there. All right. So I feel like we have worn out the knurling conversation. So we can go ahead and yeah, okay. Make sure I got rid of that. We have worn out the Nerling conversation. It's run its course. Carp, I saw that you sent me, that you DM'd me, but I don't understand what you DM'd me. Oh, Eric's, hey man, I appreciate it. Eric said he's actually off today and he woke up in time for the show. Dude, thank you. You know what? So that means that today is like the one day I could have actually had you on the show to talk about your invention, but I didn't know that you're going to be off today, or I would have scheduled you to come on, because I really am interested. I want to do a follow-up with you about the about your invention with AbMat, the Saxon grips. I want to see it, know how it's going, if you've got anything else planned that you can talk about. I know sometimes you got to keep it under wraps. So yeah, man, next time, actually when the show is over, I'll message you, I'll DM you on Instagram, the link to the, scheduling calendar. And so that way you'll have it. And then the next time that you have a Friday off, just, go ahead and put yourself on there. And cause like I said, I really would like to catch up with you and see how that's going. Because yeah, I want to get an update. Yeah, I saw that. Eric said that there's AbMat drama going on after last night. Yeah, you're talking about the thing with Lone Stag Strength Co. So I saw that in passing. Now, I don't know much about it because, again, I don't go seeking out the drama. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I can see that people are not happy with AbMat at this current moment. It ain't looking good. Now it could be completely innocent, could be resolved quickly, but today, it does not look good. It's not cool. That's a little bit of drama. It's yeah, I'm just going to leave. I have a lot of things in my head that I'm not going to say. I'm just not going to say them. But I hope it gets resolved both satisfactorily for all parties involved. Let me just say that. All right. This is another random thing. I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. To the latest scam email I got is somebody's asking me to sell my YouTube channel. They have buyers for it. I guess I knew that you could sell your YouTube channel because you can sell anything. You can sell your IP. You can sell your website URL if you want. But it never occurred to me that somebody would want to buy my YouTube channel. I don't believe anybody wants to buy my YouTube channel now. I think that was a scam. But I'm just saying, like, it kind of like had me thinking about it. Like, why would you sell a YouTube channel? Like, you build it all the way up. I guess unless it's one of those faceless, this is just random now. Unless it's one of those faceless YouTube channels, it's probably built around you. So why would you sell it? I get that Coop sold Garage Gym Reviews. But you see that it didn't work without him, so they still had to drag him back to do it. So I just don't see the point, because you started a YouTube channel so you could be an entrepreneur of sorts, or at least self-employed. So if you sell it, it still depends on you, and you're the driving force behind it. So they'd have to bring you back. So now you work for somebody else at the company that you started. I'm not about to be somebody's employee working somewhere that I started. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. That's just me. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Eric said it's hard to get proper answers when Dylan isn't there anymore. But to be honest with you, man, and I mean, your situation is a little bit different because you work with them. You're in partnership with them. But for me, it's more like most of us don't need answers, right? We want the answers because people like drama. But I think for most of us, we don't need answers. I'm going to reiterate what I said. That is, I hope everything works out for the best for all parties involved, if that's possible. AdMat has done a lot of good stuff for the home gym community, and I hope that they continue to do good stuff for the home gym community. And at the same time, if this guy's invention was ripped off or copied, then I hope that he gets compensated for it. Because I know the feeling of making something and people stealing it. Let's just say that. Let's see here. Where we are here. Dennis, home gym tech support. My guy Dennis says, good morning, crew. Hey, what's up, man? Glad you could join us. It's still fairly early for you out there. If you're at home and you're not traveling, still fairly early for you out there. So appreciate you joining us from the West Coast. Yeah, I have zero interest in being part of Pillar 4, but the beauty of it is Pillar 4 doesn't even know who I am. They don't even know that I exist. At some point when they finally do realize I exist, I will still not be interested. Let's see here. Oh, this is cool. So Dennis said today I'll be meeting with Cali Muscle. That's cool. He had lost a ton of weight, man. I remember everybody was like, is this dude sick? Or like, what's going on with him? So obviously he's still okay, or he wouldn't be meeting. Well, he's still alive, or he wouldn't be meeting with you. So, hey, that's cool, man. Hope that meeting works out for you, works well, and that it leads to some greater opportunities for you, man. That's awesome. I love that. So, what? All right. So Jay said, what and why the eye color change? I do not understand that question. I know he's not talking about me because my eyes are the same color, but I don't understand that question. As far as Pillar 4, yes, I do remember that they were there. I mean, I did do you're right. I did do a presentation at Home Gym Con. Man, they don't remember that. They don't remember that. I feel like I'm under their radar. I mean, it ain't like I'm like ducking them. I just don't have any interest at all. But I'm standing by until otherwise proven that they do know who I am. I'm standing on they don't know who I am. Okay, so Dennis says, I'm building a Rit Fit gym all because of you. Okay, I don't understand that. Are you saying that you got brand deals because of me, or are you saying that somebody has hired you to build a Rit Fit gym? Give me more details. Say Cali Muscle dyed his eyes blue. Oh, okay. That sounds painful. Well, like, why didn't he just use contacts? Why didn't he just like use blue contacts? How would you even do that? Nah. So there were a couple. Yeah. I remember that. I do. I remember they were there. Yeah, they were at the. They went to the VIP dinner and everything. Yeah, I remember them. I'm just saying, like, I didn't have any interaction with them, and unless they specifically remember my presentation during the dinner, I don't feel like they know who I am. Like, for example, I don't think that. So I basically am aware of channels that are roughly the same size as mine, and then I look at the ones that are a lot bigger than mine, right? I occasionally will see channels that are a lot smaller than mine. So Garage Gym Reviews is so much bigger than my channel. I don't think that they pay any attention to my channel, and if they even know it exists, and I'm not convinced that they know it exists. All right. Carp said the other ones ate all the meat. I'm assuming you're talking about the Pillar 4 people. That's messed up. I remember they said that we actually, okay, I don't even want to get into that. I don't want to get into that. Yes, all I'm going to say is, yes, I remember that they were there, but I didn't have any interaction with them. For one thing, I was really busy, but they're just not on my radar as far as, frankly, anything. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So Carp is accusing Pillar 4 of eating all the meat at the dinner. Yeah. I just see y'all trying to get me in trouble. This is like the third thing. You see how I run into this stuff and I pause. I'm like, okay. Were they invited? Let me just say that. I'm gonna just stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. Matthew Porter, hey man, hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're down there. I know that you told me the other day that you were out of the storm zone or like the impact area, so to speak. So I hope everything went well and that everybody in your family is safe. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Some people got in that weren't supposed to be there, as far as like going to the VIP dinner. But I don't necessarily know that Pillar 4 was in that group that wasn't supposed to be there. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know that, so I can't say that. So when you say that they ate all the meat, I'm like, I mean, they ate, but I feel like the main reason that the food thing became an issue is because people got into the dinner inadvertently because, they just got in and, they weren't supposed to technically be in there. But that isn't necessarily Pillar 4. Matt says, I'm sorry I've been quiet. I've been busy at work. Hope I've not missed anything too cool. Oh, man, we did all kind of cool stuff as soon as you left. So there you go. That'll teach you. Anyway, oh, wait a minute. I got another. All right, cool. In fact, actually, let me do something right now. Okay, cool. All right, so it is now 7:47. We got about 10 minutes, and we're going to be bringing our guest on, Johnny Layne. Let me make sure that he's all set, because he may be in to come on the show. All right, there you go. It sounds about, Matt says, sounds about right. America doing things as soon as our backs are turned. I mean, hey, you should have stayed vigilant. Matthew says, I'm all good here. I just won't know about my house until later on today. Man, it was just crazy. I saw people like, I saw one person I follow at It's Just Anna, and she's a personal trainer, but she also owns like a rims shop. And she had like rims from her store, and she had like furniture up on the rims because that way, in case the house flooded, most of her furniture would be up above the water level. That was wild. Yeah. Carp, I still don't, do me a favor, and I don't know if you heard me, but I got your DM. I just didn't understand it. So do me a favor and just put like a quick thing to explain what the significance of the DM that you sent me is. Because I looked at it. I looked at all of them and I was like, okay. Yeah. I want to understand. I just don't. Okay. Go back to here. Ah, there we go. Okay. There you go. Okay, I understand now. Okay. So Dennis just gave me the answer. All right. My man, I'm glad this worked out. He said my business was referred to Cali Muscle by RitFit. He says I'm grateful for this opportunity. Shout out to John Greaves, who allowed me to create an assembly video which caught RitFit's attention. There we go. Okay. So first of all, shout out to you, because the whole idea behind the assembly video is, you and I were talking about it. There aren't enough assembly videos out there, especially for some of the products that are on Amazon. A lot of times the assembly videos that they have on there, or they have for those products, are not helpful at all. And then the manuals tend to be horrible. So we got the idea for you to do, since you had one of the RitFit machines, we got the idea for you to do a step-by-step assembly video to let people see, so that anybody could use it as a guide to help them in case they were in a situation where they were assembling a RitFit machine, that particular machine. So you're saying that RitFit saw it, and then they referred you to Cali Muscle. So there you go, man. That's awesome. I'm really glad I was able to help you out at all. And honestly, man, shout out to you, like I said, because you were willing to put something out there that will benefit the home gym community. Obviously, some people are not into the, they may already have like their particular brands that they like, but there is a segment of population that is buying RitFit stuff. They're staying in business somehow, right? So that means they have a customer base. And so I think that you're adding value because you're helping each and every one of the people who buys RitFit products to make it easier for them to assemble their stuff, right? So yeah, man, shout out to you. I'm glad I was able to help at all. So you were talking about the Massonomics drink spot and the guys going after them. It's all in fun, like that guy David Wilson, powerlifter, said he never. Okay, yeah, I was just curious about. Okay, so I'm actually glad that it's all in fun. There we go. See, you should have just said that, because I saw the DM and I was like, I don't get it. I was like, I was scratching my head metaphorically because I didn't get it. Okay, that makes sense. I'm glad. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's all in good fun. All right. Yes, like I said, it's two different what's the word I'm looking for? Target markets. Is that the way I should phrase it? Customer bases. Yeah, two different customer bases. Matt said, question for the chat. What's everybody training today? I got raised deadlifts. Is that what you guys call deadlift on blocks? Like where you put the plates up on the blocks? Or is it or is that like some sort of rack pull? Like what is a raised deadlift? To answer your question though, I am going to be 4-inch block. Okay. I'm going to be I'm actually on deload week all week. So normally for me, deload week means it's my excuse to just kind of play around. But because I have to go do this setup for this live stream, I'm probably going to lift there using like the weights that they have in the warm-up room. I'm just going to do a simple press and deadlift workout. I'm just going to compress them both into the same day and bang out a couple sets of each and just call it a day. And then I'll be back to my normal training on Monday. But this past week has pretty much just been about just trying to keep moving, but also allow my body to recover from the heavy lifting. Like you can't, it kind of like goes back to what I was saying. You can't just redline your training all the time, or else you're gonna end up getting sick, getting hurt, and you're definitely gonna lose progress. So there's that. All right, so let's see what everybody's doing. So Jay said he's doing flat bench and shoulders. All right, there you go. Matt says he's on test week this week. See how he's progressing. So he hit some good PRs. Your deload is in 3 weeks. So hold on. So you do your test week, but you don't deload right after your test week. You deload like 3 weeks later. Okay. That's interesting. Jared said he's going to be doing some chest pressing and some triceps. Did you ever figure out a solution for your, I meant to ask you this earlier, Jared. Did you ever figure out a solution for your pad for the shoulder thing? Were you able to come up with a solution? Or are you kind of still just, because I know that the thing with the strike kind of like has you in a pinch. I didn't know if you were able to come up with a workaround. Why are you cutting stall mats for days? Oh, making pull blocks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I did to make ours was when we cut our mats to fit the garage, we had some extras, and we just used. And I'm sorry, no. When we cut the mats for the deadlift platform, we had some extra, and we used those. We used that extra to make the pull blocks. All right, so in 3 weeks, okay, that's why you didn't. All right, so Matt says he's got a comp in 3 weeks where he'll be going for a max deadlift world record. Oh, there you go. All right, man. Yeah, I remember you were knocking on the door of that world record for a while. So, yeah, I'm excited to see you get it, man. Jared says, since the docks are open, I'm going to ride it out for now. But I've contemplated canceling the order, to be honest. Yeah, I don't blame you. But I was just, but you know, if you cancel the order, you like the problem hasn't gone away, so you still need to figure out some sort of workaround. And based on what we said earlier, ab mat may not be your solution. That's not too bad, but I think that the upholstery shop thing will probably still work. Carlos said, I hit my 10,000 steps by 3 a.m. today. I'll be doing some light bench press when I get off of work. Okay, nice. Jay said, I saw a YouTube video of a guy cutting mats with a jigsaw and it came out clean. Yeah. I've cutting stall mats with a knife is not fun at all. That's bad news, but I've done it and I have zero desire to do it again. But yeah, a jigsaw works pretty well. Oh, okay. You wearing an XL? Yes. I wear XL everything. So let's see here. Hang on, I'll get you the link. So for anyone who needs the link to hang on. For everyone who needs the link to my to get this hoodie, I'm going to pull it up for you right now. All right. I know this is some riveting. There we go. Let's see if I can. All right. Hold up. I am pulling it up. I promise I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. All right, here we go. We'll look for it this way. There we go. All right. So in general, all you gotta do is go to GarageGymLifeMerch.com. But then once you've done said, look for GarageGymLifeMerch.com. then you just got to go down to the hoodie section. Hang on. Boom. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I just got a message from I haven't forgotten, Jared. I'll get you that link. But I got a text from Johnny. He is supposed to be coming on. He's supposed to be coming on the show, and I'm trying to help him get set up because his camera is not on. Johnny, can you Johnny, if you can hear me, your camera is not working. So you need to add your video. And then once you do, then I'll be able to bring you on stage. If you absolutely have to, you can use your phone. Like you did the last time. I think you used your phone before. You just have to download the StreamYard app, and then it'll go straight through your phone, and you should be all set. Because right now all I see is gray. I see that you're backstage, but all I see is gray. All right. Okay. Now back to, there you go. Yeah. All right. All right. So now back to this hoodie search here. All right. So here we go. There's your link. And there's that link for you, Jared. I just put the link in the description. So like I said, you go to GarageGymLifeMerch.com and then go to hoodies, and there it is. There we go. I see faces. I see his face. We made it. All right. There you go. First of all, good morning to the Mountain Time Zone. Second of all, welcome to the stage, our second and last guest of the day, Johnny Layne. We played this music and he disappeared. No, I should have just brought him on. Dang it. All right, let's try again.
All right, sorry about that, man.
There's your guest. There you go. Theme music. That's the last note of the theme music. All right.
I got it at the last second. I forgot about the app. Completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Do me a favor, turn your phone sideways. That way, if I give you full screen, it'll there. Boom. Look at that. Plus, that way we get to see. So let's begin by saying you are at weigh-ins right now, are you not?
I am.
Okay.
We're setting up. The weigh-ins actually start at 9. And
right. Okay.
So yeah, we're if I can figure out how to flip my phone around, I'll kind of show you.
About to say, yeah, give us a shot of the venue. I want to see what I okay,
so
nice.
We've got Invictus here right now. Here's Cody Robbins. He is the meet director, and Mr. Dave Shirley, owner of Invictus. So we've got brand new monoliths, brand new benches.
Nice.
All being set up. And the lifters are rolling in, getting in line for the weigh-ins. But yeah, they got a nice big trailer here of monos and benches. I haven't moved my trailer into position yet to get all the kilos. There's Dave Shirley. And yeah, we've got the
nice.
Weigh-in table all set up here. Mr. Bam.
Nice.
So this is the back side of the gym. All that equipment's going to be moved out for the audience. And we'll set up our platforms here in the middle. We are at the Unbreakable Athletics Academy in Plainfield, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and because we got some people who have competed in strength sports, but not everybody's competed in powerlifting. So I figured with this, we can not only get a preview of the meet, but also let people know what to expect if, when they come to weigh-ins for a meet, a USPC meet. So first of all, let's start with tomorrow is the Americas Cup Championship. So talk about what's on the line. Everybody there competing tomorrow is competing to go to Mexico, I think, right? For the chance to go to Mexico. So
they can the drug tested side of it.
Okay, yeah. So well,
They're
just
going
what's
to
on the
have
line?
So we do a combination of drug tested and non-tested lifters. There was a qualification process to get to this point, so they had to have competed in one of our regional championships and or hit a 425 or higher dots. Of course, dots is the coefficient that we use to and I have no idea how that comes together. Maybe you've even done a show on
I'm about to
dots.
say, yeah. Let's hey, look, nobody understands dots. There are people who say they understand dots, and there are people who are honest. So nobody understands dots.
People ask me how it's calculated. I don't have a clue. But anyways,
I don't know.
it's there.
Nobody knows.
But there was a qualifying process to get to this point. Our drug tested side, we do have an affiliation with World Powerlifting. That is Robert Wilkes of the Wilkes Coefficient Formula fame. He owns that federation, and his World Championship will be in Mexico next year. And I can't remember exactly where, but anyways, he is taking care of our top male and our top
I think it's
female drug
Acapulco.
tested lifter. And there was a couple of locations floated out there, and I don't know that they've settled on which one yet, but
okay.
But our top male and top female in the raw category doing the full meet will get all expense paid to the World Championship next year.
Okay, so and then of course they can get national records. They can get they could get state records, that kind of thing. Whatever,
and world records as well. When you have a meet at this level, you're eligible for world records as well.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay, all right. And so for someone to qualify for this meet, this is not an entry level meet. They had to do a qualifier, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what was not necessarily the qualifying score, but basically people have been qualifying like going to meets and trying to qualify for the event that's tomorrow. They've been trying to do that all year, right? When did the qualifying period start?
We usually start it the month after the meet. So ours will start again this year for the 2025 season on November 1st. I think we did the same thing for the 2024 season. It started November 1st of 2023. Now our actual qualifying meets. Now that's just that time period allows you to do a meet, even if it's with a different federation, because we don't want to discriminate against people who in other feds don't have access to go to a regional championship, and then they can qualify at wherever. But they'd have to hit a high enough dots in order to do that. Our actual regional series, our regional championship series, and we had 9 of those meets all over the country, started in March and wrapped up in June.
All right, let me clarify something you just said. So if somebody competes in a different federation, their score at that federation wouldn't qualify them for this meet. You're trying to give them time in case they compete in another federation to also be able to get to a qualifying meet with you guys, right?
Exactly. We will take dots from another federation. Yeah. So if you lifted in another fed, we're one of the few that actually allows that. And basically, we want the best. If they want to come and compete, and they didn't have a chance to go to a qualifier or didn't live in an area where we had a qualifier, then that gives them an opportunity to qualify somewhere else and then come here and compete.
That's cool because you may not have even known about the Americas Championship. You find out about it like, well, I don't have time to get to a qualifying meet, and then, so you can just reach out and say, hey, look, this is my dots from my last meet in another federation, and you can still qualify. I think that's really, really cool, man. That's almost like the philosophy behind the Raw Unity meets that they used to have, where they had people come from, you remember that? Yeah, no, I'm talking about where you had people come from multiple federations and they were all able to just compete. So you guys are about to start weigh-ins in the next hour. How many competitors do you anticipate having tomorrow?
We're running 2 platforms, and we'll run 50 lifters per platform. So we'll have 100 lifters, maybe a little more. I think this thing, we kind of ended up in a really great situation where we had some great regional championships that were just packed, and that qualified a lot of people. But the thing sold out 2 months in advance, and we even still had another qualifying meet or 2 coming up. So then we expanded to another platform, and then we sold out that platform. So there's a wait list of probably 20 or 30 people, which obviously are not going to get in at this point. So it has become a very popular meet. We've got a big draw at this one, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a packed house.
So why do you think you got like at least 100 people you have to weigh in today? But why do you think that this meet has become so popular?
Well, I think there's what we've tried to do is put together a season. One of the issues I had, being involved in powerlifting for over a decade is everybody really never had something that kind of cultivated into one big meet. You'd have a national championship, but the qualifying period was kind of odd. It would give you a range of time period that you could do the meet, that you could qualify for a national or world championship, but not necessarily meets that would qualify you. So we tried to put together a schedule that everybody's welcome to come to the regional championships and compete. If you win your weight class and division, or actually get top 3 in your weight class and division, then you're eligible for America's Championship. And so I think it created a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz because of the formats. Again, kind of a powerlifting season as opposed to just doing meets and randomly doing a national or world championship.
Man, I think that's awesome because like that, to me, there should be a progression. Like it's almost like tournament style. Like you qualify for this, then you qualify for this, then you qualify for this. And I think when you have it that way, you're gonna tend to. It's better for the lifters in the long run because I've been to like world championships where the bulk of the lifters are number one from that state. So basically, the only reason they're there is because they didn't have to travel, right? And then number 2, maybe this is like their second or third meet because they were able to just, whatever the qualifying criteria was low enough to allow somebody who's essentially a novice lifter. Okay, you've done 2 meets, but you're essentially you don't know anything. You have 5 minutes worth of experience. You know what I mean? Right. And you're there. And so then it reflects in the quality of lifting you see on the platform because you see, like to me, it's not that when you at a Worlds, it's not that you shouldn't see a lot of red lights, but you shouldn't see red lights because of things like jumping the command, like rookie mistakes. If you're getting red lighted, it should be because the judging is fair, but it's consistent and like it's adhering to the rules, right? Exactly. I would expect the criteria to be more rigid when you get to a high level event, a high level meet than some, like I don't want to say backyard meet and put it down, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, when you have something where you have a bunch of newer lifters, judges tend to be more forgiving. You're like, okay, they'll warn you a little bit more. They're like, hey, look, you need to make sure you're locking out that deadlift or whatever, right? But when you get to like a world championship or even the nationals, I shouldn't have to tell you what locking out a deadlift looks like. I shouldn't have to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah. I have been, not mentioning any federation names, but I have been at high level meets and I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. And I'm talking to like some of the referees and stuff. And we're just kind of sitting around talking or whatever. And they're talking about it like, I can't believe that this person did this. Like, turns out this is like their second meet ever. I'm like, how does that happen? We're the Worlds.
Yeah, that's
nobody's a phenom like that. How does that happen? So I love the fact that you've got I love the fact that you guys have that format so that, you're going to have an actual progression of people who've actually qualified like they should be there. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to get at with that. That's what I really like the most about it.
Well, I kind of base the nationals and world championship level meets is do I need to do a lifter briefing? And I don't at these types of meets. I might mention a few things that, particular to the location, parking and stuff like that. But I should not have to go into a very thorough lifter briefing talking about the rules, the format of the meet, the flow of the meet, and things like that. These people have all done meets. They're very familiar with the format and the rules, or at least they should be. And so that type of stuff's not necessary.
100%, man. And then there's the other thing too. One thing that you see with more experienced lifters that you don't see novices do is experienced lifters are familiar with the rule book.
Yeah.
They bring the rule book with them.
No doubt. And
Which
a
can
lot
lead
of
to
these
other
people,
problems, but they got the rule book with them.
A good chunk of these lifters too will have coaches here.
Yeah.
And more and more.
At least handlers.
Yeah. And the sport just, I'm not saying there wasn't coaches in powerlifting 20 years ago, but they're much more involved now. They're at the meets, they're giving openers, they're helping them during warm-ups. They're kind of guiding them through the whole process. So yeah, I'd say a big majority of the people that are here will be accompanied and very prepared.
Nice. So are you weighing in tomorrow or just today?
Just today.
Okay. So
now that there may be a few people that opt to do morning weigh-ins. Some people are flying in. I think we have 15 states, and I've got 2 or 3 lifters from Mexico that's coming.
Okay. Man, I only said that because I've done a 2-hour weigh-in, and that is not a good way to live your life. That sucks.
Well, you ain't cutting weight with a 2-hour weigh-in, not much weight at least.
No, but it still sucks, because invariably you're the only one that can't eat that morning. Everybody else is like, hey, let's stop at McDonald's. Let's get biscuits. You're like, really? Can we not just go to the event and let me weigh in and then we go? In fact, let's not talk about food until after I weigh in. Okay. So for the sake, we have a question from the chat for you about what your preference is out of the big 3 lifts. Like what's your favorite in order, like from favorite to least favorite?
Oh gosh, that's easy. I started competing in powerlifting in the 90s, and it wasn't uncommon for single lifters to be out there, and the single lifters were benchers. Bench press was the king, and to me it still is. Deadlift kind of seems to be the most popular. That's what people share videos about. And if I could eliminate squat altogether, I would. But nobody shows up to push-pull meets. And that's just because I'm not a good squatter myself. So
that's hilarious.
But it's to me, bench is my favorite, followed by deadlift, and then of course.
Nice. Okay. All right. So for the sake of those watching who haven't competed in powerlifting before at all, describe the weigh-in process, including getting rack heights, and just in recording your first attempts. Just basically, you walk in. There's a scorer's table. Not technically not a scorer's table yet, but you walk in, and what happens first? Just take us through the process.
Well, they'll come. They're already lining up now. As people get here, you talking about being hungry. Some of these lifters, I just talked to one a moment ago before I got on this podcast, he's cut 20 pounds for this meet. Just check his weight. We allow him to jump on the scale and check it out. And he's actually good now, but he's got to wait till 9 because we have a hard, fast rule that there's no more than 24 hours before the start of the meet to weigh in. So the meet will start at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so they can get on the scale at 9 o'clock this morning, Eastern time. And so they'll come in, we'll verify their membership. They must be a member of the United States Powerlifting Coalition. Then we'll get their openers from them. We'll check their gear. So when I say openers, we want to know what their opening squat, opening bench press, and opening deadlift is going to be. Now they can make changes to that as they warm up tomorrow, but that at least gives us a starting point of how to put these lifters together in a flight. And we keep our flights 10 to 15 lifters, which works out to be 10 to 15 minutes rest period between attempts. That's kind of how that flow will happen. So that's, for those not familiar with powerlifting, that's kind of the rest period. I owned a CrossFit affiliate, and CrossFitters think that amount of rest is crazy. And but for powerlifters, it's definitely necessary. And, we're in a CrossFit gym running this meet, as a matter of fact. But anyways, they give those openers, and then we get them on the scale, and we check their gear, go through the process and make sure that they're the big thing is that they're not using anything illegal that is dangerous or gives them a competitive advantage against any of the other lifters, and that they have everything at this level. Everybody, you'll have brand new lifters who show up without a singlet or something crazy, but
Right.
we'll go through the gear check process and then their rack heights, which they're putting together. They're still putting together the monos and the benches now, so hopefully we'll get that done before we get to the rack height portion.
Yeah. All right. So the thing that I've seen throw people off the most is the rack height, because you have lifters who've maybe they don't have a monolift at the gym where they train, or I've also seen it the other way around. So they're at a meet and they're using like a competition squat rack, right? Instead of a monolift. They've only trained on a monolift. And they're like, well, how do you even work this thing, right? I'm going to say what I see as the biggest issue or the biggest mistake lifters make, and then I want to hear from you what you see like the biggest mistake lifters make when they're doing their openers. For me, it's that because they're getting their rack height with an empty bar, they overestimate the height of where the J hook needs to be set, where the rack needs to be set, instead of, I'm not suggesting that they put weight on their back, but kind of like figuring out, hey, like this is not where I'm used to feeling the bar when I'm squatting. It's usually down lower or whatever, you know what I mean? And kind of guesstimating down a little bit. So when you see the openers, invariably you see people, there's at least one person where it's like, oh, let's lower the rack height a little bit, because by the time they get to that point, they've warmed up, shoulders have opened up, and there's weight on the bar. And so now it settles into them. So that's the biggest thing I normally see. What would be the biggest mistake that you see when people are trying to get like their rack heights, just for the sake of people watching who might be, end up at their first powerlifting meet?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's they overestimate the height of the bar and they underestimate the compression of the weight of the bar in the rack height. So yeah, in most cases, lifters, unless they're really dialed in, we'll even have some that show up with a tape measure. And they know that their bar height is always at however many inches, and that's where they want that bar set when we adjust the mono. So those people are rare, but they come. And but you're right. Yeah, they overestimate where their bar should be, and we've always got to drop it one. The other thing that kind of plays into that a little bit is if they come up there with shoes they're not going to wear to squat in, and that can make a big difference. So if they're going to squat in lifters, but they're in bare feet or Crocs should be outlawed anyways. But they, yeah, we don't allow them on the platform. But people are here just getting rack heights. And they just wear whatever shoes and don't think of that type of thing. But that little bit of lift in your actual squat shoes can make a difference on that rack height.
The second biggest thing I see, I don't see this as often, is people, and again, this shouldn't be a problem at this level of meet, but I have seen lifters overestimate their opener. And I'm not talking about obviously somebody who just started and they're like, they get there and they think, okay, well, I want to bench 315 today. So they're like, well, I'm going to put it on there while I've got energy. So they start with where they want to end up. I'm not talking about that. That's funny. Okay. But hopefully somebody catches them before that happens. But it's like, but I'm talking about when somebody just, they're kind of, they underestimate like the nerves, or you have people who've traveled. And if you've traveled or you had like that guy with the 20-pound weight cut, you kind of overestimate your opener a little bit. And then they have to kind of bring it back down. How much time do you have to lower your opener? Because obviously you're going to warm up, and that's the thing. And it's like you warm up and then it's like, hey, based on how heavy this is now, I kind of start knowing, hey, maybe that opener wasn't as good an idea as I thought it was. So how much time do the lifters have to drop their opener if they find that they need to?
We allow them right up until their flight is called to the platform. So if I've got a flight of 15 lifters, and let's say that that the lifter in question here is the last lifter in that flight, even though they're the last lifter and they may not go for another 10 to 15 minutes. Once I call that first lifter from their flight up, that all those openers are locked in. But usually by that point, you've got a pretty good feel for where you should be. And at that point, you're just making, poor judgment calls on your opener.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't think like if there is going to be any like kind of the mind games, that normally doesn't start happening until like the second and third attempts, and usually not second. You know what I'm talking about, with the maybe not bench, definitely deadlifts though, because by the time you get to like second attempts on bench, you kind of start knowing like where the numbers are in terms of who you're competing against, and you're like, okay, especially if you're going for like best lifter or something. So you see people put like outlandish stuff up there trying to get the other person to chase it when they actually don't have any intention of doing that. And that's always interesting, seeing like the coaches there with their calculators trying to figure out what they need to get, like what number they need to hit.
Well, usually and deadlift's one of those things where people, obviously it's the last lift of the meet and there's a lot on the line at that point. And we allow 2 changes to their last attempt deadlift right up until the bar is loaded. So the bar can't go down in weight. So you will get some lifters who play around with that a little bit and maybe throw in a big number and then adjust it last minute or so and take the next weight or something. It throws the lifter order out of whack a little bit, which can be a strategy. And because people get real caught up in the lifter order, and as soon as you throw a little monkey wrench in things, then people get off their game a bit. So there's a lot that you can do with that adjustment of the 2 attempt changes on the deadlift. A few lifters utilize it, but I don't think enough. And usually it's got to be something close anyways, a competition where there's just a few kilos between a couple lifters.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's where like having a coach or a handler can help you, because they're gonna be messing with all that stuff. You just go over there and put your headphones on and eat Skittles or something, and like, hey, you just go do that, and you let the coach do all the mind games, and let them deal with all that.
I'll tell you a funny, if you got just another second here, but the I knew of a bench presser who went meet after meet that whatever he did at the previous meet, that was what he was going to open with. So the weight that he finished with at one meet, he was going to open his next meet with that one. And that worked for a while, obviously. And then he bombed out of 2 meets back to back. And that kind of destroyed that momentum. Even though I run a federation and been involved in it for a long time, I have successfully bombed out of several meets by using that strategy, and that lifter was me. Because I thought that made a lot of sense. But bench press is my favorite event, and it's also the only event I've ever bombed out of.
So. Oh wow! You know what's so crazy though, man, is Jared. I see your question. I'm gonna answer it. But the thing that's crazy to me, especially about the bench press, because I bombed out. The only time I've ever bombed out was on the bench press, and it's because, like with the deadlift, even the squat, you kind of like with motivation, you can kind of do an ugly squat or an ugly deadlift and get it, right? And even necessarily maybe still pass, you get 2 white lights or something, right? But I found that with bench, man, it's so technical. If the slightest thing goes wrong, you're done. Hey, they may as well just pull it off you because you're never going to get it. And that's actually how I bombed out, because number one, I didn't pay attention to how I felt in the warm-ups, because I was like, oh, well, this feels heavy, but it always feels heavy. When I get out there on the platform, the adrenaline's going to help and I'll be able to get it. And no, it didn't. It didn't help at all. I was just stuck under there like, have I started? And the judges looking at me like, has he started pushing yet? What's going on? I'm just down underneath it like, right? So that's the thing that gets into me about bench. And then the other part of it is, and I don't bench in a shirt, but the other part of it is, sometimes it starts moving depending on where your sticking point is. And you're like, oh, yeah, I got it. Nope, I don't. And then, you know what I'm talking about? When you just hit that wall, you're like, And there's nothing as bad as when you hit that point and all it is like, and it seems like all you got to do is lock it out. That's when I hate it. At least if I fail right off my chest, okay, it's over. I'm like, all right, I tried, I didn't get it. But when I almost get it, and like literally all you do is squeeze literally the last 2 inches, and you can't like, you know what I'm talking about. How demoralizing is that? You just like, seriously, I couldn't just
Hey
and
man,
then
sometimes gravity wins. You know, that's just how it is.
Dude, then you spend the rest of the day like just doing like that. Like, I could just get that. Just that part.
Those lifts haunt you. Yeah, it's like, where was the rest of that energy? How could I not lock that out? But
especially if it's something you've hit in the gym, and you're like, seriously, I get this all the time. Oh, it's so annoying. But anything could throw it off. Like I was saying, like your touch point could be different. You touch at a different spot than you normally do, and that throws off your whole lift, and you just miss it. So that's the thing about bench. So powerlifting is famous for having drama, but I will say I've noticed that the USPC has cultivated a refreshingly drama-free environment. One of the reasons I think is the type of event staff you recruit. Everybody's nice, extremely nice, very helpful. I keep telling you, you guys are still the only powerlifting federation where not just like regular people just happen to be standing around, but the actual referees volunteered to help me load everything into my car after helping to put away all of the weight, all that stuff that they're setting up now. They put away all of that and then came and helped me load everything in my car. So you guys are undefeated in terms of that. But more than that, man, I also, because of where I normally sit, I get to hear the staff at the scorer's table when people come up to ask them questions or like something needs correcting or whatever. I get to hear how they interact with people, and everybody is there. Like they keep it. You know how like essentially the lifter is also your customer. It's like they actually they act like they remember that. I'm like, that is so refreshing. Is that something that you specifically go over in training? And I know it sounds like I'm just kind of like, kissing your butt right here, but I'm like, literally, it's the truth. Is this something you go over in training with your staff? Like, hey, look, bend over backwards for these people. They paid money to be here. This could be the one meet they do all year. Let's not ruin their weekend or whatever.
It's important. Yeah. What you said right there is important to remember, is that these people have come, and this is, we do have a pro series where people get paid, but 99% of the meets, people are doing this on their own dime. They're taking time off of work. So yeah, they are the customer. And I try to convey that to all of our staff, but really I'm blessed with good people. I mean, they're really just genuinely good people. They love the sport. They enjoy taking care of people and being helpful. And I like to think it's, myself and the rest of my administrative staff that, from the top down, that's how we handle things. We don't yell at people. We don't get, irate over certain things. We uphold the standards and the rules, but we do it in a professional, courteous manner. And I think that's kind of, like I said, starts at the top, works its way all the way down. We have stuff in our judges handbook about being courteous and treating everybody with respect. But I'd like to always reiterate to everybody that it's not, even though it's written there, we do it anyways. We shouldn't have to write it down. It should just be something that's automatic. And I am very proud and again blessed with the crew that I have, that they do such a great job. And I don't have to remind people to be nice and handle things the proper way.
All right, let's talk about squat depth. Okay, I know you said you want to ban the squat anyway, but let's talk about squat depth. Everybody's got a phone, and first of all, if somebody doesn't compete in powerlifting, they probably don't even understand the big deal, because people who don't compete have varying ideas of what squat depth should be, right? So, but for people who do compete, there is a standard. You have to hit your depth. You've got to get your hip crease below the top of the knee. But everybody's got a phone. Everybody has a person recording their squat. Live streaming, I freely admit, has made it worse. Okay. So I genuinely don't know the answer to this. if somebody comes up with a phone to argue that their squat should have passed, hey, look at this video, what do you guys do? Number one, I'm gonna tell you, because they'll come up to me sometimes during the live stream, hey, look, my squat should have passed. And what I do is the courageous thing. I just say, you need to go talk to them. All right.
That's what I do too.
Because I get to do that. I was like, hey, you just need to go talk to them. But like, what do you guys do if somebody comes up and says, hey, look, this is a squat? Let's say, we all know this ain't gonna happen, but let's say they actually have the squat from the side. Okay, they have a video from the side. We know they're not, but let's just say hypothetically they do. What is the approach? Like, what do you guys then do if somebody does that?
We have a hard, steadfast rule that we don't. This isn't the NFL. We don't do video replays. So the call on the platform stands. Now, our judges are not infallible. They do make mistakes. But I will say that our judges, especially the side judges, they're typically on their hands and knees watching very, very closely. Where, like you just said, 99% of the videos you get when somebody's trying to make that point, it's a head-on video. And, you know, we get, unless you're crazy high, we instruct our head judges to never give a depth call.
100%.
Unless it's just a quarter squat or something crazy. But in most cases, let your side judges make those calls because they're in position and they're looking right at it. Now, if somebody got on their hands and knees and got their camera low enough where the judge's eye level is, then, you know, I guess that's a different situation. But again, it's just always been a rule that we do not go to video to overturn a call. The only time we might do something like that is if we had a misload on the bar where we didn't catch it. But those occasions are very rare. Now, yeah, it's every meet, and I'm sure it'll probably happen this weekend. But I'll get somebody put a phone in front of my face and say, look at this squat. Doesn't this look good? I was like, yeah, but
it looks great. Yeah. Put it on your Instagram. You should put it on Instagram.
And you know, you always get people commenting online and oh, that was a good squat. You were robbed or whatever. You know, we're not biased for or against anyone. We're just trying to make calls to the best of our ability. And again, sometimes mistakes are made, and but for the most part, they're in the best. Those side judges are in the best position to make that call. That unless you're in that exact same position, you just won't see it.
So this is probably one of the most important questions I'm going to ask you today. So no pressure. You got to get this one right. Most of my audience are people who have home gyms. Okay. As you do as well.
Yep.
But you understand that people who are home gym owners tend to be, to a certain degree, introverted. And also very independent, which is why we have our own gym instead of going to join a gym, right? So we don't necessarily like being told what to do. Powerlifting is probably the sport that tends to put people off the most as far as strength sports, even more than Olympic weightlifting, because my theory is they don't even think about Olympic weightlifting because it just never hits their radar. But in strongman, you get to wear whatever you want. You're lifting cool stuff like cars and, you know, rocks and random stuff, right? You really, when I watch a strongman competition, I'm like, if you brought an alien to Earth and they watched a strongman competition, they would assume that this is like some sort of salvage operation and these people are just moving stuff. They're moving junk over, you know what I mean? Like, because there's all this random stuff, right? Yeah. But powerlifting, you got to have a singlet. You got to have, you know, there's all these confusing rules and all that kind of stuff. Talk to the people who are watching. Why should they do at least one powerlifting meet? And I'm not talking about I got no problem with virtual competitions. I support those. But tell them why they should at least once leave their house, spend money, and go compete on the platform. Like, what does it do for you as a lifter, even if you never plan on chasing a world record or anything like that? What does it do for you as a lifter to go compete in a competition?
I think it's, you know, of course, I am biased, but I think everybody should try it at least once. But the lifts you get at a competition are legitimate lifts. They're not gym lifts or bro lifts or any of that kind of stuff. No touch and go bench press, no questionable squat depth, no hitching deadlifts and stuff. They're clean, legitimate lifts. And you really don't know how clean your lifts are until you get in front of 3 good judges and judge you and give you validation to the fact that it was a good lift. The other thing is, and I know, again, as you said, I'm a home gym owner myself, but the introvert thing is true. But this is such a great group of people, and I know a lot of sports say that about their lifters and stuff, but it happens at every meet, and it'll happen tomorrow, where lifters cheer each other on as they're trying to beat you. And they'll work together in the warm-up area. People have made tremendous friendships. I've had 2 proposals on my platforms over the years. People that lift together in meets. And I know one couple that met at one of my meets and eventually got married. I'm not saying that's going to happen for you. I can't guarantee that kind of stuff. But
all right,
anyways,
y'all heard it now. If you're looking for that special someone, go sign up for one of his meets. He's got a wait list.
Yes, it's much like the Bachelor or the Bachelorette thing, just with weights, I guess.
That's exactly like it, yeah.
But I think the opportunity to do something on a platform in this type of scenario, again, give some validation to what you've been doing in the gym, as opposed to, well, I can bench whatever, or I squatted whatever in high school. We all have those stories. This is the real thing. This is the real show.
I think something else, I agree 100% with what you said. And I think also is that you become a better lifter by competing, because the number one, it's going to make you a lot more consistent in your own training, which is the number one driver of progress, just consistency. You can show up and do stuff wrong, but the fact that you're showing up is going to do something. And then number 2, the cues that you're going to, even if you overhear these cues, just in competing, you tend to just become a more technically proficient lifter. The referees will even tell you stuff sometimes if you're smart enough to go say, hey, why did I fail that lift? Whatever. They'll tell you things that will improve you as a lifter. And so after like your 3rd meet, you just turn around, look at your progress. You have probably gone leaps and bounds past where you were before your first meet. Just in terms of how well you perform in the gym, especially if you lift by yourself. So I think that is another huge plus. But I agree 100%. I mean, I know people to this day who I met because I competed, and I would never know them. So some of the best friendships I've had, I would never have developed if I had never competed. And I think powerlifting is an awesome way. I also like the fact that strongman is, I think, a great sport, but the fact that in powerlifting, so much of what you do is calibrated and under fixed conditions, that it's a lot easier to say, okay, I use this bar, you know what I mean? I use this bar, and so I can judge what I did on this bar versus somebody else in another part of the world using the same bar, same weight class, you know what I mean? Whereas with Highland Games and strongman, there's a little bit more gray area because, okay, so it was an axle deadlift. Well, what brand of axle was it? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. There's a little bit. What size were the wagon wheels? There's just a little bit of gray area there. So to Jared's point, I do plan to compete again. I'm just kind of tied up with Garage Gym Life, and the free weekends that I do have, I actually want to spend helping you build the USPC and the USPC live streams, because I wouldn't even, like I told you when we started doing this, I wouldn't be involved at all if I didn't believe in what you guys are doing, and if I hadn't seen with my own eyes the thing I said about how you guys are in terms of being helpful, and also just seeing the atmosphere and the environment at your meets. So this actually is a good question. So I was about to let you go, but we got a good question. So okay. Here we go. So for squat depth, is it not common for the judge to call up or lift when depth was met? So I'm going to answer it, but I want you to answer it as well. So when someone does a squat, you actually don't tell them to come up. You tell them to squat, or actually in the USPC, you don't even tell them to squat. They squat when they feel they are ready to go. They've got the bar, basically when they feel it's safe for them to do so. And so they go down and they come back up. So the judge, it's not like a pause squat. The judge that's something that you would do in training. So nobody's telling them when to come up. Basically they come up when they want to come up, right? And so the only way I can see like a judge might be involved in that is if you come down, you start coming up, and then you start going back down, which would be up and down movement. And so then the judge will probably say, hey, just take it. That's a safety issue. But so what would your response be to that question?
Yeah, 100%. The judges don't call depth. Now, we don't have a rule against a coach.
They don't call up. They call your
they do.
I know what you mean by call depth, but he probably does.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, the judges don't give you an up command or anything like that. But we have no rule against the coaches or training partner or whoever yelling up whenever they think they hit depth. Now, I've seen a decent amount of coaches that yell up way too soon. And, that's just because your coach yelled up doesn't mean you actually got to the depth that you needed to get the lift pass. But that does happen sometimes. But you're correct. There is no squat command. We do allow the lifters just to go whenever they're set and comfortable. And then, of course, once they stand completely up, we give them the back.
So I hope that makes sense. So you might hear somebody yelling up, Jared, but that's not usually. That's never the judge. That's somebody standing on the side who's trying to help the lifter out, because when you're squatting, you should be able to feel that you've hit depth, but sometimes you just can't, and so,
especially the geared lifters. And again, I know this is going down a rabbit hole that some of your listeners may not be familiar with, but squat suits and briefs and things like that can affect your perception of what your depth is. And that's where it's really handy to have a coach who calls, you're an inch, you're 2 inches away, an inch away.
Yeah.
And boom, you're there up.
Yeah.
You just can't feel it.
All right. I hope that answers your question. So anyway, so Jared, so yes, I do plan to do a competition. It will probably, full disclosure, be a USPC competition. But it would have to be basically it's a couple of years down the line. Let's put it like that. Okay.
Hey, we're getting closer to Georgia, John. We just sanctioned a meet in February in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Oh, look at that!
Right on your border, man.
Hey, I'm willing to. I have done stuff in Cleveland, Tennessee before. If you want me to come up there and live stream it, I'm there for you. Heck yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'm down to do it. All right. So man, let me go ahead and let you go. But before you go, where can people go if they want to find a meet and sign up for one?
USPC, United States Powerlifting Coalition.pl. I know that's an odd ending to the website, but to me, it stood for power. It stood for powerlifting. To anybody else, I think it's a Polish designation. So, but nonetheless, USPC.pl is the website.
Awesome. All right. I will see you in a few hours. And everybody else, make sure that you're also going to the USPC at USPC 2020 on YouTube so that you can catch the entire live stream tomorrow. We may actually even get Johnny, if he's got some time, get him to come and sit in with us during the stream tomorrow, talk about the meet and answer you guys' questions. Once you start watching the meet and you see how things flow, I know that people probably have questions by that point. So we'll see if we can't get you or one of the other referees to come and sit in with us tomorrow.
It'll be a madhouse. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, heck yeah. All right. Talk to you later, Johnny.
Have a good trip.
All right, bye. Okay, so that was my guy, Johnny Layne. Let me make sure. Carp, I saw your question. The most frustrating part of doing merch through the site that I use or any of those print-on-demand sites, basically not having the plus side of it is I don't have to keep inventory, so I don't have a bunch of cups in my attic. I don't have a bunch of t-shirts in my basement. The downside of it is that for privacy reasons, they don't give me any details about your order. All right. Essentially, it kind of functions almost like the affiliate code thing, right? Where like somebody goes to some website, whatever, and they put your promo code in. But basically, that's the extent of your involvement. So that's kind of how this is for me, except there's no promo code. But essentially, I'm just sending people to their site to make a purchase for something that they make and sell and distribute. It just happens to have my logo or whatever on it. So I get a bigger chunk of the, I guess, commission than I would if it was an affiliate thing. And as a result, I'm not involved with anything that has to do with like the shipping process. So your best bet is to reach out to them. They should have sent you an email with their contact information. And also in the email, it should have listed the expected shipping date for your item. Okay. And so the one thing I do know is that they typically have those orders processed by the fulfillment center that is closest to your location. But that is the extent of what I know. I'm happy to look at your order, but basically all I can look at is whatever you send me. And if I reach out to them, they won't give me any information. They will tell me to tell you to reach out to them, because they will not. To them, it's a breach of privacy to discuss your order with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically, I can't help you. Now, it's different if you order like banners from, if you order our banners from Freedom Fitness, then that's different, because I mean, I know Ashton, I can just reach out to him and ask him. But that's one reason why we're trying to see if this works out, because if it does work out, then we can put more stuff at Freedom Fitness, so you'll end up having a better customer service experience. But I just, at this point, like I was saying when we first started doing the cups, I can't make like 100 cups and put them over there, and then they're just taking up Ashton's storage space, and then he's gonna start looking at me like, hey man, what's your plan with these cups? So I know that wasn't super helpful, and I apologize. So yeah, I really, it's frustrating for me because my name is attached to it, but that's kind of where I am at this point in the life cycle of the merch. And it's another reason why, to be honest with you, I don't do as good a job as I should of promoting the merch, because the entire process is not satisfactory to me. But I do appreciate everybody, who gets stuff, because, it means that much more to me, because I know what you guys got to go through to get it, and I wish there was a better way to do it, but it's just not possible at this time. All right. So that is pretty much it. We are getting ready to wind down now. That way I can get out of here. Okay, so you sent him an email. And yeah, hey, no problem, man. Like I said, I appreciate you, and I wish I could do more. I wish I could do more to help you out, but thank you. I do appreciate your support, man. Anyway, so once again, this is gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the West Coast. It's a little bit before 9 a.m., but I have got to get on the road. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna call this a little bit early. Make sure that you guys are checking out the USPC.pl. Let me go ahead and I'll show you guys the see if I can't pull it up here. That way I'll show you guys one more time before we get out of here. The USPC dot USPC. There we go. Yeah, the Americas Championship, free powerlifting live stream. So let me go ahead and I'll share the screen one more time. This is what you're looking for when you go onto YouTube. This is what you'll see pop up. It's the USPC Americas Championship 2024 free powerlifting live stream. Do me a favor, because as I said, I really am trying to grow this federation. You see they've got 1.4 thousand subscribers. Do me a favor, go ahead, hit like on the video. You know, come check us out tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Hit like on the video as soon as you come check us out, and then hit that subscribe button to just help get those subscribers up so we can get more people out there checking out what I consider to be some high quality powerlifting action. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the live chat tomorrow. I think, like I said, it'll be a good time. All right. So now, once again, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody. Shout out to Carlos once again for his squat PR. I can't wait to see your next PR. Shout out to Matt Welch, who is working on his all-time world record deadlift attempt. All right, cannot wait to see that. And shout out to all of you guys who were checking out this live stream, with me. You guys keep on hitting me up. I appreciate all you guys who drop your comments on all of our videos. And we will be back next week with another exciting, awesome show. I will see you guys then.